I know that we've been here since we're 15. Now you're making me on my knees. Try my best to keep you pleased. Now you've been all alone. I was there to keep you close. Now I'm going through it on my own. No one's there to pick up the phone, yeah. Ku merasai cinta kita berbeza. Kau dan aku takkan bersama untuk selama-lamanya. Cinta kita berbeza. Kau dan aku takkan bersama untuk selama-lamanya. Takkan ku berasa resah, takkan aku berserah. Ku di sini tidak meninggalkanmu. Right now, yeah. Decision is the right now, and I know it's hard. Please don't leave me, baby. I'm not a tool. If I love you, I can't seem to find somewhere to live. If I can't see you, I don't know where my heart again. You know I'm not brand new. You stick together like a heart tattoo. Kau lihat aku macam I'm sendu. Kau buat ku rasa sendu.
They ask how are you dating? But please stop asking, I can't take it. So they tell me to stop chasing. You know it's over, time to face it. Oh, I know I should move on, but I just can't. Oh, I think that I might love you till the end. So how can I forget you when you were the one? You used to be my everything, there's nothing when you're gone. How can I forget you when you were the one? You used to be my everything, there's nothing when you're gone. There's nothing when you're gone. Too many great memories, I can't erase them. All I see when I walk past the street where we meet for a drink or two, and I'm drunk on you. Oh, I know I should move on, but I just can't. Oh, I think that I might love you till the end. So how can I forget you when you were the one? You used to be my everything, there's nothing when you're gone. How can I forget you when you were the one?
cuma pelukan sinar terik kamulah teduhan. Tak tipu kadang rasa tak mau teruskan, kadang sampai fikir bikin bukan. Aku juga rasa begitu kelirukan, pelukan teman tiap kali turun hujan. Tapi bila masa kita bertemu hari, ku jadi lebih baik berwarna macam pelangi. Buang resah kamu, lupa kisah lalu. Have a good day my dear, and now let me tell you how I feel every time you hear. Bila kau hadir seperti pelangi, seakan muncul semua benda yang ku cari. Bila kau hadir senyapkan sepi, lenyap semua hal bila kita menari. Buang semua ragumu, yeah. Atau terus tunggu yang engkau tunggu, nyanyilah lagumu, yeah. Panggil aku anytime, boleh hello kalau perlu. Mungkin kita perlukan kebebasan, hidup ikut cara aku, tak nak dengar arahan. Sebab tak ada siapa yang faham perasaanku tanam. Biarkanlah harapanku tenggelam dalam-dalam. Daya bimbang, walau hidup tengah tak seimbang. Masalah tak dibilang, harap esok boleh hilang. Senyuman makin layu, ada aku untuk siram. Selagi ada nafas sambil masa cuba tenang. Kenapa dunia harus begini? Kenapa aku yang kau pilih? Mana jalan harus ku pergi? Takutnya tiada seperti sisi janji yang kau takkan pergi. Ada hari bila ku sakit, ataupun hari yang tak beringgit. Apa kita ada lebih dari duit? Bila kau hadir seperti pelangi, seakan muncul semua benda yang ku cari. Bila kau hadir senyapkan sepi, lenyap semua hal bila kita menari. Buang semua ragumu, yeah. Atau terus tunggu yang engkau tunggu, nyanyilah lagumu, yeah. Panggil aku anytime, boleh hello kalau perlu.
Sentiasa pernah berserah, perlu kita check masalah. Okay, going in, tak ada masalah. Straight to the stu, dah masalah.
Shu. Give me a second. RST versus. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and thank you again one more time for tuning in. And I'd like to say this is it. This is the match that we have all been waiting for. This is the final face-off of the day, which is Renatus White versus Boosted 2.0. This is the match that will dictate who will be walking away with 500 ringgit worth of cash and the title of Battle for Supremacy's victors. Back to you, Kay.
Once again, I would like to thank you, Teddo, for being an amazing sponsor. Once again, if you want customized keycaps or mouse scripts, check out teddo.co on Instagram and get that personalized and give your computer setup a bit of personality and a touch of you.
All right, let's talk about the match so far. Holy, we casted for that last match and it was Boosted all the way. Boosted really had that sheer dominance on the field, don't you think? They
dominated the game all the way.
The game.
They were brutal. They did not give any chance. They did not give any space or whatsoever. They just got the momentum and then they just kept pushing and pushing.
Yeah, that's right. They were just no nonsense. There was no nonsense. It was just plan, execute, and win for them.
They
That's
were not
what we've been saying. Yeah, and exactly. Right now, it's gonna be the last two. It'll be the finals right now. It is the finals right now, which is Renatus. Once again, Renatus versus Boosted. Are you guys hyped for this? Because I know chat is hyped for this. Where you at, chat? I know you guys are hyped for this. Chat's actually going mad now over who was that? The highlights of that last game. Highlights of that last game. You guys seem to like Boosted a lot, Boosted 2.0 a lot. Let's see what they can offer in this final round, though. I hope you guys are ready, because I'm pretty sure they're not here to play as well. Nobody's here to play. Want
They
to
are
see how this thing goes
serious.
down.
They are
Yep.
indeed.
Right.
The way they play is nothing like I've seen before. I've seen the synergy, the composition of how the team works. They know how to play with each other, and it's terrifying once they get the roll of it. And once they start rolling and pushing, there's no stopping them.
Exactly. Good.
But
That's
let's
the
just
point.
see who can push harder.
Yep, because both teams are
Renatus
actually hard
White,
hitters.
Renatus White, or Boosted 2.0.
Yep. I'm actually very eager for them to start, like, commence the battle right away. It's gonna be the usual, and really want to see what they can offer to the table. Because, in my opinion, from what we saw this earlier this noon, we saw Renatus. They are also a force to be reckoned with. They play around tactics a lot. If tactics don't work, they shift tactics. They plan on the go. Yes, they plan on the go. And as for Boosted 2.0, their playstyle is much more um, adamant. They have a much more adamant and much more bold playstyle. They just rush in, clear corners, cut up the territory like usual. What would you do? What you would do in a match, but they take it to a whole different level. As in, the strategies are already kind of, can I say, programmed in a way in how they play. I think they've already gone through this a lot of times. That's why they get the hang of things very easily.
Yeah. There is no way to see how the outcome of this game will be, as both teams are very strong opponents, and they are both equally scary when it comes to the game.
Yeah, they're both equally scary when it comes to the game. I'm actually more to the side of, you can call it buyers and stuff, but I feel like I have my cards for Boosted a bit. I feel like they're really dominating the game as so far as I've seen so far. They're really something else, really. What
Well,
about
they
you,
did
Kay?
absolutely destroy the game once again. I'm really not sure, as Boosted absolutely did dominate the game, um, leaving a huge score gap. So maybe my cards as well are on Boosted, but let's just say that Renatus also did destroy the game. Also did play quite hard.
You're both very potential teams, all women. Once again, all women. Shout out to the women out there. Shout out to the girl gamers. You guys are doing a good job repping the community, building a solid foundation for girl gamers to represent themselves and stuff. Shout out. And again, let's talk back about Renatus. The players there, they have very good synergy, as we have seen at noon. They're very good play style. They don't really take risk, but when it comes to risk, they take every chance they got when they have to execute. Yes. And back to boosted, the players there, more to the highlights of the players, the star players. You can, like chat already mentioned, most probably Salam and 8T. 8T, I say 8T because you know her name's 8T. You guys know
Mhm.
it? I know it. It's T. So just as hyped up as you guys are, and there's gonna be an interview session, most likely an interview session after the game ends, and we're gonna pick a few players, and we're not gonna disclose which players are we gonna pick at the end, but you guys are gonna see who they are, and we're gonna ask a few questions, see what they respond. Maybe you can learn from them, see from their experiences what they can share to you guys. It's good, to know a few things after the event. I mean, you wouldn't want it to end here right away, right? Like after the match and it's all good,
Or
just gone. Yeah. So let's see how it goes. We have players getting ready down in our lobby right away, but as we're speaking right now, we're just giving them a bit of time to unwind and get prepared, to prep up. And back to you, Kay.
so right now, I just really want to talk about the game, as it's gonna be quite difficult because both teams are very strong at attacking. They know how to push. They know how to use their ability. So it's really gonna come down to defending.
Defending. Oh, really come down to defending. Because, yeah, now that you mentioned it, they're actually pretty proficient at using attacking techniques. Now that you mentioned it, yes. on the defensive side of things, yes, they do have tactics, but what we've seen so far, Kay, we've seen that the attacking side of things kind of overshadows the defensive side of things, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, guess so too.
So whoever attacks or whoever defends first will probably set the momentum for the team.
Yeah, definitely. Momentum is one thing because once momentum is lost, you can't actually. It's very hard for you to re-grip the rope. It's very hard
Yeah.
to come back. Not come back. Comeback's another thing, but momentum. You can't lose momentum in a serious fight like this. And we're talking. What we're talking here is the finals, man. We're talking about the finals.
We are.
Finals. This is
It,
where
it-
things are heated.
it's all in. It's this or nothing. They have to do it to get that prize money.
Get that prize money. Yup. And apart from talking about that, well, the players are just warming up a bit. They're moving around with the guns, they're getting a bit of feel there, trying to get ready for this final match of the day. And thoughts about this? Let's talk about the other teams that we've seen so far. The Governors back at noon time. Governors were also pretty good, don't you think? They're solid. They were solid.
They were. They definitely were.
They put up a very good fight with Renatus White back there. They weren't exactly getting dominated, weren't getting pulverized, but at the same time they put up a very good fight, yes. But somehow later along the line they kind of lost their touch. Lost their touch, yes.
Seems like it.
Yep, seems like it as well. What about talking about boosted as well? Mad Zen. What about Mad Zen? Feel like they were disorientated somehow, a bit disorientated.
And they kind of lost the will by the second game.
Yeah, but it was kind of um unpredicted though, cause it was like how do we describe this? It's kind of like the momentum, the pace is already set for. It was already set for a boosted 2.0. They had a steady grip of how things were going. And as for Madness Zen, they knew what they were doing, but it took some time for them to get used to things. So they kind of lagged behind the process of all that. The procedure, the sequence was already disrupted, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yes, I understand. It was actually quite difficult for them as the game progresses. Of course, it was gonna be more and more difficult because at that point, they already knew how each other played, and I guess Boosted 2.0 was faster on picking up to see how Madness played and was able to easily dominate the game.
By the looks of it, what we're seeing back that last round, that last face off, it was just boosted all the way. They were literally running up into Madness Zen player's face and they're just shooting it all over the place. Utility is casted. They didn't play like they were the defenders. They played like they were the attackers. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, pretty much. Took the
Yep.
words right out of my mouth. Yeah.
Yep. Guess so as well. And it's been a long time. There's still some time for players to get ready. So in the meantime, I guess we'll just talk about patches and stuff. Cause let's check the time. It's 8:06. Still a bit of duration before the face-off commences.
Mm-hmm.
How about the star players then? We can talk about star players. Yeah, who was it? Lucidity. You had Lucidity. You had Ash from Mad Zen. She played
Mm-hmm.
Sova back there. There's a bit of highlights from her as well. And obviously TTT from Boosted 8T. I'll just call her 8T, but not overshadowing Salam. Salam.
Of
Salam
course.
is actually also a beast. I mean, the playstyle, it was very fluid. It was just something else, boosted. The Renatus. Let's talk about Renatus as well. Renatus, their players all balanced. I feel like they're all balanced. There's a big synergy. No players, like none of the players were,
Left behind or left
yeah,
out.
they were not left out. They were all in their own zone, you know? They were all in the zone.
Yes, they were.
Yup.
And I guess for the patch notes, so how do you feel about the new queuing system where ranks no longer matter? You could like an iron 1 can finally play ranks with a gold 3. How do you
Oh,
feel about
they
that?
did that? I was actually not aware, you know?
Yeah,
But
I played a few games with a platinum friend. It was not fun. It was painful.
did you get wrecked?
I got wrecked. It was painful. I hated every minute. I felt so useless.
Nah, that's just skill disparity, you know. There's a skill gap
Yeah.
between us, but it's fine. You can always improve. But yeah, passionate. Now that you mentioned it, I feel like it's much more fun now since you get to play with your friends. You get to play with
Yeah.
your friends from a different rank, because you know, to some people, they don't just wanna compete. You know, they don't just want to compete for the rank and not just get boosted. They just want to play with their friends, but in a more competitive scene. Get what I mean?
I guess they did this because they wanted to reduce the Smurf accounts, basically. So, like, no more Smurf accounts. You can finally play with your friends with your main account, I guess.
Yeah, but I think the the innate system of the sorting, yes, the matchmaking system of Valorant, the Valorant client as a whole, it will make some adjustments, I guess, according to your skill level. Is that a thing? Because I'm kind of sure the system itself is kind of smart. Also, it knows how to dictate which players are good, which players are average, which players are beginners. It just determines that from your playstyle, right? That's
Yes.
how they rank you from your average combat score, and from that average combat score, they take that data and they give you a ranking right away for your every match. That's how you get enemies. That's how you get match made in normal games as well. You have a number associated with yourself already, and you by using that number, that value, you face off with players who are of the same value as you, and you guys fight for a higher rank. It's some sort of way, but it's kind of somehow it will be slightly unbalanced. There will slightly be some imbalance between games because the skill disparity is a little too high. There's a threshold there.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
So if you do too well on the previous game, of course, you're gonna get more difficult opponents on the second game. So at this point, it's really a grind to rank up in Valorant, and I have so much respect for these high elo players, as I know it's very difficult to get to where they are right now.
Same. I have the same respect for people who are of a very high level, but seeing how I don't really play ranked anyways because I'm very terrible at shooting games. I just like the entire idea behind Valorant, but looking at Valorant as a whole, have you played any ranked games like lately, Kay?
I've played Valorant, ranked games. I have not played any other games lately. Probably just some simple, chill games, the open world games basically, but not much ranked.
Not much ranked. All right. So when was the last time you actually played rank?
Ranked Valorant two
Yep,
days ago,
2 days
probably.
ago. That wasn't long ago. Have you? Was the what was the teams imbalance? Were the teams unbalanced at all, or was it okay?
I was on my other account because I was playing with friends that were in NA,
Oh,
but
I see.
yes, but let's just say that I was playing with a friend of a high elo, so it was kind of unbalanced, but either way it was a very fun game anyways. Even though it was
Yeah.
quite difficult, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. We only want things to be fun, you know? Just have fun.
Of course,
Not
yeah.
not everything's about competing, but that brings us back to the topic here, where it is actually a competition. Yeah, so I wonder what's the holdup though, because we have players not ready at the lobby still, but
They have been picking ban maps.
ban maps. All right, we got them picking ban maps. Right, so far we have members of good news. Boosted members are already on standby. We're awaiting the
Some of
Renatus
them,
members.
some of them seems to be in range.
Yup, they're trying to warm up, get a good grip, get a feel here. And as we're speaking, we're still awaiting members from the Renatus side of things, and we're actually wondering what's the holdup, but never mind that. We can still talk about other things as well. There's other things to talk about apart from Valorant. Not just Valorant, more into Valorant. We delve deeper into Valorant. We'll talk about characters, Chamber. Since Chamber isn't a viable option as of now, we do not allow Chamber for this tournament. What are your thoughts on this, Kay? I feel like it's kind of... I heard people say it's broken. I've never really tried Chamber myself, but is it a good option? I mean, was it broken? Was it...
Chamber is a bit OP, especially when it comes to pistol rounds, because Chamber does a lot of damage, and it's kind of like the Sheriff, but it has a hiring. It kind of feels like it has a higher firing rate, so it's a bit much more difficult as well. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's broken, but I would say once you master it, it is a very powerful agent.
I remember that Q being a revolver-like thing. It's a deagle-like thing. Am I right? It's a sheriff-like thing.
It's a Sheriff.
What are the differences though between the normal sheriff and that chamber sheriff thing?
It's kind of like a higher firing rate.
Higher firing rate. Wow. Is
So
it more
it's
accurate?
more
Do you
fast.
feel like it's more accurate?
I don't play the Sheriff because I don't have the aim for it, but uh, but I
Oh,
feel like it's a bit more. Once again, Valorant is known for its run and gun, and
yeah. No matter how much you nerf the Spectre, it's still gonna be a run and gun.
it still is. You're still gonna get headshots somehow.
Yup. It's just makes no sense sometimes, but hey, the numbers are there, so who knows? Really. And as of now we have members of RTS slowly coming in one by one. They're ready. They're getting ready. Still need a bit more time. And hey, back to Chamber though. That operator.
Ooh, yes,
The
that
operator
the
sounds like
operator.
thunder. Yes.
It's
It's
a
like a
beautiful
gentle,
standing
right?
gun, and anywhere you hit it, it is a one-shot kill.
Anywhere. Even the toes?
I think so, yeah. They might
Wow.
nerf it. Feels like a very high nerf, but yes, it is quite powerful. And at that point, I honestly thought when it first came out that Jet mains would go over to Chamber, as Jet mains are known for opping by the third round. It's like a rule for Jet mains. So I thought that they would hop over to Chamber, but that doesn't seem like the case. People still play Jet and not much of Chamber. No matter how much they nerf Jet.
I see. Is that operator, if I recall correctly, that operator is called, the ability of Chamber's ultimate is called Tour de Force. If I'm not wrong, Tour de Force. Yes.
I am
Does it
not
have-
entirely sure.
Does it have like a higher firing speed? Does it have a lower recoil? Or anything special out of the ordinary from the original op, compared to the original op, I mean?
I am actually not aware so far. But let me see. Yes. I'm not. I don't think it has a higher firing rate, but as well, custom sniper rifle that will kill any enemy with any direct hit, and as well as once the enemy is killed, it will create a slow field. So
Slow field.
so even though even if it doesn't have a higher firing rate, it has a slow field. Enemies cannot move. It's like a Sage slow orb, and he will catch you either way.
Wow. And the teleporting though, 2 teleporting sites, that makes it actually more... You can do ballsy plays, but you can get off scot-free, you know? Get out of there scot-free. It's like a jet, but a better jet. If I say
Kind
like
of
that.
like it, yes. So it's so that's why people are quite interested in chamber, as I know there's a play on bind where if you're playing as a chamber you can actually play both sides as chamber simultaneously.
Which side is that?
Bind.
Bind. All right, bind.
You can play both sides at the same time if you have your teleport, because you can easily teleport from site to site.
Wow, that actually. Wait, what? You can actually teleport from site to site?
Yes. I have my friend do that and it was absolutely insane. Because he would play on B side, when he hears footsteps on A, he would immediately just teleport and he could teleport back anytime he wants. So that is quite a broken play right there.
It's much more of a. It's much more of a aggressive sentinel more than a defensive side of things, you know.
Yes.
Defensive side of sentinel. Feel like it is because most of the abilities I see from him are quite offensive, you know. There's nothing that slows, only things that engage. Not like engage as in really go head to head, but as in you take picks. Chamber is a sentinel that takes picks rather than letting the duelist take picks himself, you know?
Yes.
Yes. Anything else to add on?
What I can say is that Chamber seems to be a very big favorite for female gamers. Which I can say, a lot of people started simping on him.
What chat is saying that?
A lot of girls ended up simping on Chamber when he first came out, when his first trailer came out.
Oh, I see. Is it because of the posh and bougie look?
Yes, pretty much.
If we're talking posh, yeah, Phoenix, in my opinion, looks pretty posh himself. Much more like a hype beast, though. Character's looks wise.
He's more of a high school jock kind of feel.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
Oh, so we just got
Okay.
word from our higher ups that the match is gonna get delayed until 8:30 for a bit. So we're sorry for making y'all wait. I know y'all are just as anticipating. Y'all are just restless as us. We want to see how things are going down, but time isn't allowing much of that right now. So by 8:30 we'll come back, and that by then we'll really focus on the match itself. So stay tuned for a bit. We're gonna close out, but yeah, thanks for tuning in, and be sure to come back at 8:30. We're watching you. See you guys.
I just turned off my cam. Yes.
Blood red, I was dressed in late. You had me singing for you. Your touch was all I ever craved. Anything I do for you. But you fucked up, I called it, you weren't even honest. I gave you myself and you did it regardless. My head's a mess. All the moments you sold them, you didn't deserve them. I wanted the best, but your best wasn't worth it. Oh, I'm a mess. Now I don't wanna fade away. A figure in the background. I sing for you a symphony. And fall until I fly like a songbird. darker nights, will they ever change? I still think about you. Cause I can't get over the fact that it's over. You're everything I knew. But you fucked up, I called you, you weren't even honest. I gave you myself and you did it regardless. My head's a mess. All the moments you stole them, you didn't deserve them. I wanted the best, but your best wasn't worth it. Oh, I'm a mess. Now I don't wanna fade away. A figure in the background. And I'll sing for you a symphony and fall until I fly. Like a songbird.
I don't care no more. 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 I don't care even after all the places we've been. Now you're just a silhouette to the sun. Maybe you thought that I'm the fool for sticking longer than expected, and it ain't cool for you. You had to do what you got to, and I'm not here trying to miss you. I don't care no more. 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 I don't care no more.
I swear I used to care about you. Now our love fell apart, that's true. Needed you to be the one. Now I guess you're just my two. I won't lie, can't deny. Every night still think about you. The way your touch feels got me blushing. So can we take it slow for a minute? Let me show you my world for a second. I got a lot on my hands to be giving. I might lose my mind, but right now I feel like
I don't care no more. 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 Yeah, I don't care no more.
Oh, what?
Can't get too far from all your strings. I'll always be your plaything. So put some life inside of me. I'm full of
fluff, I never bleed. After all the sweet nothing, leave my body here to rot. Disasters got my heart jumping. With what is left or not, can't feel my cuts and I miss these scars. I see the open wounds of everything you take to part. I can't help but smile. Love it when you pull me inside out and then tear me apart. I feel like a dog. I'll always be the main thing. I'll always be the main thing. I know it's cold, though I can feel the touch on my skin. You left me far from my feelings within. Every night starts with the sound of the crackling, the war before it all begins. And when the moon shines on me, I'll be dancing for you till it all ends. All in the spotlight. I love it when you pull me inside out and then tear me apart. I feel like a dog. I'll always be the main thing.
They're starting. Turn on your cam. Mau.
All right.
Show us your face.
Hello, once again, we're back. Are we ready? All right.
Tell us when we are live.
Yeah.
iCarly style.
iCarly style. Cool.
I want that kind of energy.
I know. You wait. Oh no.
No.
You,
You messed it up.
I know you
No.
see. Carly, hi, we're back again. And just wanted to say sorry for the delay. We're back here with Renatus versus Boosted 2.0. I know y'all have been waiting for this a lot, and now right now we're in the agent selection as we speak. Hope you guys can see this, see what they're actually gonna choose as
Lucid
team
2.0
comp.
already locking in all of their agents. Catharsis with the Viper, Salam with the Jet, Alice with the Sova, Badame with Sage, and AT with, of course, the Reina.
Man, I feel like they're not locking in anything as of now, but let's see what they have on plate. Yeah, I see T, 8T, a fan favorite right now. They have Reina
They
and
dodged
the usual. They dodged this match. Oh wow, I wonder what could have happened. Let's see. Is it a technical difficulty?
AFK question mark.
AFK question mark. I'll see. Looks like there's a bit of technical difficulties, but what we've seen just now was an icebox, and it was the usual. It was the usual. We saw 8T, a fan favorite once again. It seems like you guys like her a lot from her skills. It was Reina, and Salam was using that jet, the two duelists composition. And so somehow there's a little bit of things going on here. I feel like it needs to be dragging. What's going on right now actually, Kay? Do you fathom what's on process?
Uh, I was in Defenders, not in Observers. That could have been it.
Oh, I see, I see.
I
Oh,
did not
I see.
notice that they put me there for some reason.
Oh,
Nice.
all right. There was just a little minor technical difficulties, nothing else. So,
And they want to drag Rue in. Whoever
drag ruin.
that do not know who that is, but yes, okay. Um apparently chat is voting for Boosted 2.0.
They're they're voting for boosted, hyping boosted up. I think this is gonna
Boosted
feed
up.
their ego a bit, but let's hope they stay cool, stay hot in the field. You know, I mean, show Renatus some love, show Renatus White some love. I feel like they're lacking love here, and don't forget they're actually pain packers here as well, and let's not steal that spotlight from both of the teams because they're equally good right now. Let's talk. It's a little difficult here. Pass.
Yeah, I
And
did not know how to pass the leader thingy, so I just left.
oh, I see. I'll just leave
Looks
it
like
again.
we have a substitute. Rue.
Substitute. Oh, means she's gonna be subbing someone this time. GX Envious Majesty Caperdite. Wow, a new stand-in, or is it another account? Who knows? As of now, we're just looking at transferring leadership.
I don't think many of us know how to pass the leadership, so we're just leaving.
Oh, they're just leaving. How about
I don't know how to
having
pass.
having a new person create a new room? Yes,
Yeah,
we're
they're
actually in a room.
having admin creating a new room.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I did
And
not know how to pass it, so I just left.
I guess so as well. Okay, we're in, and this time it's actually correct. Let's invite the members in already. Man. There's a little technical difficulties. It's just slightly, it's just a slight error, but we can get right back on track. Sorry for the delay, folks. We're working on things, and by the time we're finished, we promise you, you're gonna be in for a treat.
It's gonna be worth it.
It's gonna be worthwhile. Apologies once again, but stay with us. Stay with us. You're not gonna want to miss out on this stuff. It's an all-female thing. Once again, all female. Want to see how the girls can play out here, and it's the finals, meaning it took some amount of effort to get here. And right now they're lining up. Stay patient. They're lining up right now. They're lining up. Everyone's getting ready. It should be a matter of time, say around 1 minute, 2 minutes, something like that. Less than 1 minute, I can feel like they're already ready. They're just gonna arrange their positions in attacking and defending columns. So yeah, how's the chat going here? Okay, the chat.
Seems like there's one supporter for Renatus White saying Renatus White for the win.
Or when there's some support from Renatus, there's some support for Boosted as well. But I don't even need to actually think deeply, and I know there's a lot of people who are can I say simping? Can I say simping? But a lot of people are going hard over 8T. They want 8T to win somehow. Isn't that right?
Yes, it seems like it.
I feel like they're taking things. Make sure. I hope they like it. I feel like they like it as well.
Right
They
now,
like seeing how.
right now we are just waiting for Renatus White to join the lobby. Not sure where they are, but they're coming.
They're coming, and by the time they come in, we're gonna start the match right away, as soon as possible, because it's taking a bit of a delay, but we're getting there. And we have members of RTS filling in the roles, the slots already. It's gonna come sooner or later. Stay with us. 3 more members left before we get into character selection. Character as an agent selection. Yes. I'm very hyped up for this. Kay, how do you feel?
I have very high expectations for both teams, as they are both amazing teams, and I'm just excited to see how it will go down, what heat they will bring.
It's like it's already going underway, and right now we're in agent selection. Okay, take it away.
Alright, so right now we are back on the Icebox map, and let's just say that all of them are already ready with the players and the agents that they will be picking, as Badame with Sage, 8T with Reina, Alice with Sova, Salem with Jet, Envious with Jet, Rue, the substitute, perhaps with Reina, Majesty maybe with Viper, Kerfrodite again with the Sova, and Mochi again with the Sage.
See there. Wow. I feel like this is a back-to-back thing. Like, it's the same thing for Boosted. I feel like Bad Aim,
Yes.
still the Sage.
Once
Catharsis,
again, they
Viper.
have very similar agent lineups, and once again, it will be an agent diff at this point.
Yes, I feel like it. Hey, we're going in right now, and we on the defensive side of things, we have our Renatus White, and for the attackers, we have Boosted to start up the first half of the round, and we're very eager to see how things will go out right now. And the picks from the agents, though, I gotta say, they're the same from the previous rounds, the previous matches we saw.
Yes. So now my cam is following, and the chat said simp for Catharsis.
Simp for Catharsis. Wow,
There
y'all
we
are some
go.
cheeky bastards, huh? Let's see.
Let's go. And someone else is simping for Bad Aim.
Bad aim, huh?
Bad Aim seems to be AFK at the moment, but probably will start moving once the game starts.
I see. I'm following Bobby's cam right now, though. What about you, Kay?
I am following Bobby's cam as well.
Let's go. Let's see. Bobby's our guy. Members of Boosted. the usual approach on Icebox. Looks like they're gonna have to find some way here. But as we're speaking right now, Bad Aim is just hanging out on spawn. Spawn. Wow! Right away from Envious,
Right
taking down his
away.
doppelganger right away and leaving them one duelist short. TTT in a corner back with his own doppelganger on the side of B, taking things
Managing
slowly. Sees one, but gets right down by Keeper Dive.
unfortunate.
Good compensation, a little bit of lure going there. It's starting to be a bit strong. It's a strong start for Renatus as we speak, but things can still go either way. I'm pretty sure things can take tides, can take turns, any
They're
point of the
playing
game.
quite slowly on this game.
Yes, I think they're both aware that both teams cannot be underestimated, and they're trying to not make any errors, don't you think?
Let's go, yes.
Let's go. Yes, they're down to 3 members though, boosted, so it's not gonna be very feasible. Renatus.
It will be hard to
Stealth
break
members
that
already.
stage wall as well as it is a pistol round.
Just saw a lot of firing here. Actually, there's a lot of commotion going on already, but they're down to 2. Things escalated really fast, but it's still Renatus' win for this. And they had sheer number advantage right from the start, so it's gonna work out for them for the first round. Pistol rounds. Victory goes to Renatus White. Solid match, I'd say. Very good start for Renatus. I think this is gonna feed their confidence for a bit, and this boosted will try to have to shake things up a bit. You know, they're already going for Spectres and all that. Spectres, a Ghost, and all that. I see Renatus just going in a little full buy there. They're trying to deny any access, deny any further advances from boosted. But I don't think that's enough. I think boosted has something else up your sleeve. Right off the get-go, there's a little bit of intimidation there. That's not good enough to
Great
take
hit
from
by
them. But
Salah.
Salam, right blind headshot. What was that?
Amazing play right there. They can easily pick up that Spectre right now and play it for their own team.
Taking some time here. Keeper Dice scouting the area, using that, not saving any of that shot darts to clear the areas, but yeah, boosted members already cutting up the situation. It's already looking pretty grim for Root. Root's the only person standing here. Managed to get one position away, but just gets treated out by Bad Aim, and that wraps up the second round. It's high now, still the stale.
That was a very great play as both teams, as one team was saving for that round, and that was a great play right there. Both teams still playing quite cautious though, I must say. Unlike the previous games where both teams were very aggressive when pushing, they're both now playing quite slowly.
It's about the power levels, okay? You got a good eye on things. It's about the power levels. I'm pretty sure they're both aware that both teams have potential players and they can't afford to make mistakes. There's the Lear already. Salam already going in big with a
Great play
headshot.
by Salam.
They're going in ruthless. They're just stomping into B side and forcing members of Renatus to rotate right away. But little did you know, Envious is already down there, getting his comeback on TTT. The snake bites and all that commotion right there, covering, making the condition unfavorable. But they're trying to back up here. It's 2 to 4 now. It's not looking very good for Renatus, and it's now down to 1. And then, oh, that was too much. Instead
It
of
was
2
a
to
gun diff moment. Indeed it was.
Yeah, it was a gun diff moment, but it was a nice effort though, as they were saving somehow. But that's not too late for them to come back in a few points, and now they're on equal footing. All of them have bigger guns, I'd say, but let's see, Bad Aim and Catharsis might have to switch up a bit. Maybe not, maybe they will stick to Spectres or somehow, but you can already tell
On their
Envious is
previous
going in
round,
deep
yeah.
with an operator on A site though. But yeah, more of them boosted, landing on B. There's the Lear, same tactic as before. It's the same tactic as before, and Rue is taking things
Definitely
slowly
wasn't
this
good.
time. But yeah, it has paid off a bit, but it's not enough for him to outrun Salam.
I love how the synergy between Salam and AT, because they both once again play very well together. with the leer and the dash updraft, so it will be a very quite close game for this one.
I feel like that as well. You've boosted. Having a strong startup for Renatus White didn't mean much for Boosted as they are slowly picking up the pace here. Renatus Majesty trying to get a little back there, managing to get one, but it wasn't enough for them to actually make a change here. And it's out just OT right now, but it's not enough for him to face off with Salam. And Salam is one wrecking force, even with 8T down. You gotta know it. With 8T down, he's the second person who Boosted will rely on.
But it seems like Salam is really stepping up her game, for this round, as she already has 7 kills.
As of now, I'd say they're all going in very deeply. They're not here to play anymore. It wasn't like the rounds before where we just casted in the noon and the late evening there, but the early evening there, excuse me. But I feel like they're all giving their all. Yes, they're giving their all in this final match. Not giving any chances for their enemies. It's TTT, the duelist combo here. Splicing his territory, checking out the conditions of the site. Getting all, but he does not get his kill on Majesty here. And that's actually a pivotal point for them. Bad aim takes a little bit of revenge for Majesty. Envious combat that, replies with that as well. And yeah, Mochi from the back there, subtle, keeping it subtle with a sheriff.
Too unfortunate right there.
Revealing area.
Disclose the information on the location of Renatus White players. It's gonna be 4-2 now. They did not save on the resurrection. They just got them both down. And it's another victory for Boosted 2.0. It's another victory for Boosted 2.0. You saw how it was like a strong. It's a strong starting point for Renatus White. Like you say, it's strong. I kind of expected that it would go on like that for maybe a few rounds, but right off the bat, they're not giving any chances. As soon as the second round starts, they're already advancing consecutive wins. They're not giving any wins. I'd say they're hungry for more, you know. But you have Envious with an op here. What could go wrong? He's trying to potentially seek a kill, but actually gets fought off already. One, but he actually gets one out of Salam and backs off with some cloud bursts to give himself some time to reposition. With bad aim, noticing the commission
We tend to
there and capitalizes off the chances he gets. Gets picked off by Rue once again. It's gonna be 4-3. It's not looking good for Boosted now. I think Renatus has already caught on to their tactics.
They have 1 minute left and they really need to plant. But they have to play it slow because Renatus is watching the angles very closely.
Both sides not willing to back down, not yielding. You have
yielding,
a
not
sight
wanting
on
to.
scopes on
down B.
Last
Player standing.
The spike is down, location is revealed, and all that. They know that even with blind, Alistair Ben can still get one pick off of the Opper. The Opper with the scope here, just holding off that angle.
30 seconds left.
So Fish says Catharsis so good and gets called out by chat for being a simp.
I see, but nonetheless, it was a good try and a very nice change of pace from Renatus White there. They kind of got back on equal footing. Not equal footing, but it was a consecutive win, like 4 consecutive wins for Boosted, but they just broke that streak, you know?
I do want to say though, I've noticed that Bad Aim has been really stepping up her game for this one.
This match, especially this match, right?
Yeah. The most kills, those are great hits from her right now.
We've seen this tactic from Majesty back in early noon there. Viper's hit to cover up the entry points of sight. It's actually very efficient on blocking out the choke points and making enemies back off a bit, and it's working pretty well right now. You have most of the members of Boosted already forced to rotate here, but it's gonna be about time. Your position will be given out to Renatus there. And they're starting to make a move already.
Poison orb emitting.
But it seems like AT really wants to try to push this Viper's Pit, actually.
Might want to take his chances here, but he'll have to catch up with his teammates somehow. And his teammates are already out into B. And one's already picked down by Envious. It's not looking very good for them. Envious has a very nice spot here to make sure there is no spot, but let's go back to 8T, and now the Viper's Pit is down. A very good green light for them to go back and reroute back to A and get the spike planted as soon as possible.
30 seconds left.
They do have 30 seconds left. So at this point, they're just really trying to push on B side, which is difficult with Envious locking down every single angle there is.
As well, we have RTS Kfordite with the 100 Fury ready. He won't find himself
Need to
fulfilled on
plan.
this
They
lane.
need to plan for
Last
this.
player standing.
Just
Spike
TTT,
planted.
they
Fail.
managed to get the
Last
spike
second.
down, and it will be a 2-1, both with full health, with Kfordite low. It's gonna be
With
one
the
shot there.
bullet.
They'll try to have the
One enemy remaining.
wow. And with that, he
Amazing
punishes
play
him
right
for
there. Very
advancing to
clean.
the zip line
Ooh,
And
8
gets
of
countered
course
back by
with the
8T.
4K.
with the 4K and secures the 5th round. 8T. 8T is a menace. I'd say she's a menace.
She is quite a baddie. She knows how to play her roles. She knows how to aim, and she knows how to counter that. It was
was-
actually amazing that everyone started to rotate, but she did not want to back down from that Viper's Pit. No.
Yes, her role was crucial back in that last round, though. Getting rid of that Viper's Pit was a solid green light for the members of Boosted to reroute back to A and have the spike planted. That was the pivotal point for that round, I'd say.
They couldn't push. They couldn't push B as Envious really had that on hold. That site on hold.
Envious just in the corner of Shorty here. Wonder if he'll get an actually kill or something. But he doesn't get a kill.
They'd get a
And
body
instead gets
shot,
fed
though.
off by 8T. 8T is not playing around. She's just advancing into sight with that mad aim of hers.
You fought
And
well.
mad aim,
One
catching
enemy
Rat
remaining.
himself out in A, and having the members of Renatus White mold down one by one. Bad aim, moving to mid. You see
Catharsis with
Catharsis
that.
with the snake bite.
That was amazing play right there by Catharsis.
Wow, let's talk about strategy, okay? The strategy on Boosted is mad.
Of course. AT, of course, claiming the throne on the top frag once again.
AT, she's a menace, really. Salam as well. The members of Boosted, they're trying to complement each other and try to capitalize off utilities very efficiently. I like how this is going. And as for Renatus, they're doing a solid job of keeping up as well, but it's not too late. It's still on the defensive side of things. Both teams are doing well, okay, back when we saw in early evening and early noon there. Good at attacking, but decent at defending, so who knows? Right off the bat, one kill out to AT already. Not potential second. Paper that punishes her for that, but that's a compliment from Salam, making sure the site
Spike
is safe
planted.
to entry. They gotta watch their backs by now. That's a signal that they come in, and Mochi X punishes Catharsis for not looking at the right angles here. Salam carrying out the duties of AT, but it's not just sufficient enough. And you have Mochi X revving Envious, trying to wrap things up.
One enemy remaining.
I like
Last player
Yep.
standing.
1-1 now.
Now a 1v1. Both players not great on health.
I gotta say, bad aim does have the rest though, so she could potentially revive someone, but doesn't seem like anyone's close. And that wall, with a little bit of gap there, kind of revealed her head, but it wasn't enough time for her to react to that.
It doesn't seem like any revive was needed. She did not need the support because she had that easy in her bag.
I'm gonna say, the synergy, the chemistry between 8T and Salam, it's like the two duelists of the team. Once one of them dies, the other just assumes leadership role. Don't you think? The entrance role. They're both formidable opponents. I say that. Rue was well, Envious as well. Well, now they're stacking B. All of them are stacking B. They kind of started coming, but it's not enough to stop Salam there. They're just stomping on them, moving around on them, around the yellow box, and making it an attacker's win by one casualty. And by
And
here,
he's
it's
now
already
in
2-8,
point
and you have
gap.
most of the members of Boosted having their ults on standby as well. What could go wrong for them at this point? But you're looking at Envious on Renatus there. She's still going for that operator. She doesn't want to back down yet. Still wants to make full use of that. But they kind of expected them to maybe head off to A this time, but they had their cards wrong. Boosted is actually around B, and I don't think they're gonna stop. There's the Lear, a signal for them to rotate right away. Renatus, gangs of Renatus is already noticing how things are taking a change. They're starting to rotate really
Boys and
fast
orbs,
to B
welcome
right now.
to my world.
The popping off with that fiber spit is gonna hinder the use of the op. It's not gonna be a great use.
Force Envious to change to something lighter, something like a Phantom sword, but he makes full use of that even when the Viper Spit is up. And maybe gets a
Great
second.
play right there.
And a third.
Third play by Envious.
Now it's just them and Catharsis.
Catharsis
Catharsis
cleaning
sweeping
up
up
as
all of
well.
them.
Player standing.
But
Shot
they're
down
both
Down
hit.
B.
Bad aim really
Bad
has
aim.
to come up here.
Solid play, a nice save from Envious there.
Envious not
Looks
really
like going
great on
for that
health.
op was the best choice there. Was the right choice for there. You have the members of Boosted right when that Viper Pit was already placed down. They were all just scattered, you know? They were in favorable positions, and that gave
One
me like
enemy
for
remaining.
Envious
30
to
seconds
give
left.
You
the shots.
kill my allies.
One enemy remaining.
Unfortunately, the rep didn't work out so much, but
Great
almost
play
an
right there.
Envious, but
It
bad
was
aim,
a
take
hit.
the last cup.
It was a worthy bait.
Last round in the half.
It's 2-9 now. Let's see how. Okay, I kind of see a pattern that I know all too familiar with. What about you?
God, I don't want to say it, but I'm seeing it as well.
I'm seeing a pattern I do not like, but I know this pattern all too well. I kind of feel like the motors, the engines for Boosted, they're already in motion, you know? They're already going very strong. I don't think there's anything stopping them as of now. A strong
That's
start in
starting
A.
to get interested with bad aim right here. They're starting to be
Oh my
curious with who
God.
this player is.
Off the bat already,
I don't blame
getting the
them.
spike down.
They're
In 1
having a
minute,
playful
20
play
seconds
here.
left on the clock. It's too much for them to deal with, as we're seeing
Bad aim
right now.
getting that trade with Majesty right here.
Positions are also very favorable to members of Boosted, and it's only 2-4. It's not looking very
One
solid
enemy
here.
remaining.
And AT, again, so menacing, just taking kills one after another, proving that she's a formidable opponent on this battlefield. Caphrodite will happen to run into it, but actually manages to escape, but doesn't go out in the clutches of AT at the last possible second. That secures the
Absolutely
10th
not.
win
Switching
for
sides.
Boosted.
The pattern is repeating. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, Mal.
I gotta say too, Kay. I'm starting to see this pattern. I mean, the pattern is already taking shape, you know. But
It's now an 8 gap, and I'm gonna say that it's a very big gap, and it's gonna be a difficult way to be able to get that 4 back or close the gap once again.
well, it's all right, because as both teams have showcased early on, they were both very proficient at attacking, but more lackluster towards the defensive side of things. So let's see what Renatus can bring us on the attacking side. Let's start with Envious here. Bad aim as well. They're all moving towards mid, taking some control over mid and B. It's a very loud advance. And with
Bad
that,
aim,
they've already
Spike
taken out
down.
taking them out though. Unfortunately, was shot down by Rue.
2 now. They have some control of the side, some parts of the control here. Renatus holding off angles potentially, and gets one from Caphrodite. Hopefully gets a second. And he
One
does.
enemy remaining.
That's punishment there. That's punishment there. And
Now
it's
let's
AT
see how
herself
AT will play this.
Spike planted.
against 3. But Caphrodite is actually in a very good position right now. She's just camping. There goes the recon to scan out on things. that gives away her position. Let's see if shots connect and if she can turn the tides for her team, even though the team is actually at a very advantageous point. Oh,
Oof,
You're just like
unfortunate.
everyone else.
The lone wolf play was not her game.
and this sets Renatus. I feel like this will set Renatus back on track, winning the pistol round, reigniting the flames of confidence. I'd say they gotta make it up to par, man. I feel like Renatus is so much worth so much more. They're just lagging behind on the defending side of things, but now it's their time to attack. So
As
let's
well as
see.
having the budget, they will have better guns on this, so hopefully the gun diff will help them.
I feel like this is gonna have to be a setback for Boosted for now, but as of now, what we're seeing right now is they're actually going pretty strong there. Rue already taking out the top dog of Boosted right there. Slowly mowing the members down one by one. They're not trying to take it out as an all-out fight. They're trying to shred their numbers and play by sheer force, dominating them by numbers, you know?
It seems like having the better budget here is really helping Renatus here.
Yes, it is. Both moving towards 2 sheriffs versus 5
Last player standing.
full armors, to say the least.
Great trade
Focus
right
down.
there.
It's not gonna be enough. Accurate shot there. Will find himself in a not good position as all scopes are on her head as we are speaking right now, and that's it for Mochi X. As I said, scopes are already on her, so there was nothing that could be done, really.
Her health was quite low as well.
Both teams seem to excel a lot at attacking, but not that good at defending, don't you think? I mean, they're like loud entry goers. They're very, very adamant, really. Now we'll commence with the 15th round, and members of Renatus are all scattered around the map. They're just looking for testing, you know, just testing the water, seeing how things will fare out in the long run of the match. There's the owl drone, scouting for some information, and Rue is already popping up the leer and trying to force her way into sight, but no, yeah, members of Boosted already on site there. Envious pulling out the Blazor right away, getting a second kill, gets shut down by ATU the Guardian. A third, but not a potential fourth.
It's a very close fight. As now they pretty much have the spike down. Now they just need to make sure that they
Last player standing.
Oof,
Oh, well,
unfortunate.
it's down to bad aim now against 2 players. They can hold it off their own. Position's already revealed though, but the Sheriff, one tap is enough for things to end and escalate to the 16th round. Let's see. Neither way, neither
They
opponents
missed
have a
each other
position on
just barely.
both their sides. It's gonna get caught off guard by Schaefer Knight on
Unfortunate.
top of there. That's the 5th win for Renatus White. Gonna saw this. They're moving at a steady pace. It's say from 2 out of 10 to 5 out of 10. Let's hope they can make a comeback here, because that makes it more interesting.
Seems like it. Seems like the pattern isn't repeating itself as they are making their own comeback right here.
A slow but not really subtle comeback. I hope they can reach around. Maybe
Well, they are working their way up there.
they are working their way up there, and
Deploying drone.
this time it's gonna be B. They're ready here. They're actually putting them in a corner now. You have Boosted having a save round, but you have Alistair Ben, a lucky shot on Envious there. And they're slowly preparing for a full-scale onslaught out on B. Check the forces and all that, both trading blows there. And you have Boosted members down to 2. It's the same pattern. They kind of caught on. They adapted to how they played. Or is it adaptation? Or is it that they're
Spike
just that
planted.
good at attacking as well?
This it's now gonna be quite difficult for them to play on this, as it is now 4v2.
Toxins going up.
Majesty just creeping up at the back to see if there's
Last
a
player
potential
standing.
flank there. Bad Aim is the only person left. She'll find herself getting caught off guard by Majesty as well, making it the 6th win for Renatus White. What a change of games. Like I said, it could be very dominating for Boosted in the early rounds, in the first half, for example, but as far as what we've seen in the defensive side of things, they haven't won a single match yet, so this is looking pretty good for Renatus White. Seeing how Rue, the stand-in or the substitute, I'd say, because earlier on this afternoon we didn't actually see her, right, Kay?
We did not. It was a different player, I'm assuming.
Different player, I guess. She's filling in big shoes, though. She's filling in the shoes perfectly, making a commotion out in A, forcing them to stay in A for a bit, but slowly pushing, not slowly, much more loudly pushing
Toxins
towards
poison orb
B.
emitting.
There's the
Poison's off.
utility's down, but you gotta have the spike down as well, and you have Catharsis out on Envious. Well, that's one duelist down for Renatus White. Much of a thing for Bad Aim, with Majesty just staying out of the smoke there, and it's just
Spike
trading
down,
blows, and
B.
it's gonna be changed up a bit here. It used to be Renatus there cornering them like rats, but it's gonna be different this time.
Last
I
player
feel like
standing.
they've already played around and got
Already
adapted to
playing
Renatus' playstyle a bit. And it's just Majesty here. They kind of speculated that there's going to be one lurker behind, and it's T wiping the floor
Once
and
again.
smoothing things out for the team once again.
AT still seemingly always bringing the power to terrify me absolutely with that willpower and the game that she brings.
Definitely,
brings in
she's
the
really a duelist, I'd say. And where is that Envious? Envious is doing pretty well as well. Pretty good as well. Kferdite as well. Rue and the team of Renatus, they're not willing to back down. They're actually putting a very good fight. This is a very tight match. It's just that they were at the defensive side of things in Renatus' case in the first half. So maybe that wasn't their go-to. Maybe that wasn't their light, you know? But right now they're also taking things very seriously. They want to make sure the score is settled, make sure the score is at least even, potentially making it overtime if they don't succeed in this. They're more to playing camping right now.
Here.
And
But
AT
18
taking down
good at taking heads, but gets caught off guard by Envious once again. Duelist battle here. Envious again with a second kill, shredding down the numbers of Boosted, making sure that they don't have any
One
problems
enemy
to run there.
remaining.
A very solid recon dart reveal.
This
It's just
Viper
gonna be
is
Envious.
really helping them
Glob.
through this.
But that kind of gave her away as soon as that that stick came out. The gun,
The barrel.
yep, the barrel. Gave away her position right away once she entered the smoke. It's 7-11 now. It's a very solid comeback, I'd say. A slow, now I can't say
Solid.
slow, but it's
Here.
kind of fast now. A 7-11. Taking things in a different approach this time. We can see that the tactic is there. The strategy might be spliced up, but you have 3 members out in middle. They're trying to have a bit of mid control, and the wall is just as usual.
But it seems like Bad Aim is Bad Aim and actually yeah, everyone else has chosen to save for this round.
They're already, they're not trying to play slow anymore. They're just trying to play it fast, I guess.
But they aren't saving this time, so it will be a gun diff.
Yes, there will be a gun dip. But speaking of which, gun dips don't really matter anymore because members of Boosted have already picked up the
Last player
scrap
standing.
of the last players there.
Strike down
And Majesty
A.
getting them one by one, but gets traded
With a
off the
thrifty
block.
win.
That's how you make things
Match
turn
point.
around there. That's how you show presence. I'd say AT really is something else.
It really is.
Envious too. Envious is one too.
It doesn't seem like
Really
the
is
gun
something
diff
else.
really mattered on this because they were running in with pistols while the other team had vandals and such, but it didn't really matter.
Gotta
They
mentally
still want
prepare
that.
for this, where they just need to save a few, take down a few enemies, and scrap their guns. That's all they had to do. Make it a thrifty. So yeah. Defensive side of things, Salam with the first pick already, mowing down one member down. Renatus and a second member down.
kill my allies.
But there's the rest on Envious. They can't lose their star player here. Envious has to be alive, and bad aim still around
Just
mid,
can't play for
controlling
them.
mid.
Bad Aim does really a great job on controlling mid, by the way, which I've noticed with previous games as well.
Envious can't die here. He needs to lead the pack, but spoken too soon, and it gets traded by Rue there. It's gonna be 2 to 3. They gotta take the fight. Two boosted
player
right away,
standing.
but it's not gonna work out for boosted.
It's all down to
Last player standing.
it will be
1v1.
down to this if Boosted wins this round.
It's actually
Slow
quite
down.
tense now. It all depends on Mochi at this point.
Indeed.
And Salam, they still have plenty of points to wait for, but as of now, you need Mochi to win this round as soon as
30
possible.
seconds
But they're
left.
just beats apart. There's a distance between them. They might be able to plant the spike, and
Oof,
luckily,
But it's like Salam
there
thinks
is
they've been
the
planting
distance
on
here.
the other side. Wrong side, buddy. Making
Salam
her way to A.
is gonna be 1v1 now. Things are gonna get pretty tight. If Mochi manages to clutch this, she secures another opportunity for them to come back a little bit, and they build up bit by bit from there, and hopefully win this entire round. But that's a very big ambition there. That's a very big ambition there. But
Great play
Whoa.
by Mochi right there. Taking down 3 players and managing to clutch.
took that to advantage. He had the holder's advantage right there. Having the spike down and having the timer tick down is going to make any remaining attacker sweat, I'd say. And she made full use of that. That is a reclaim. As a reclaim. And they're
Even
back
given
on
another
track.
chance
12.
to make a comeback here.
Both teams are really, really good, I'd say. This is very interesting.
I expected it to be a very close match.
Me as well.
Ooh,
Things are already escalating here. Most of them are already advancing to B. Salam already getting one down. Doppelgangers down. No more rep this time. It's 4 to 5. Intercept with his own, but gets traded by Rue. Rue dismisses right away every position, but Caperite not managing to
down
outrun
A.
that. Rue pulling out the Empress, trying to solid things out,
Last
trying to
player
make
standing.
things even.
Team A.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they
Fight.
end with a team
Defenders
ace
win.
once again.
They can only do so much, I'd say, but that was a solid comeback at the defensive side of things when Boosted was defending, and that really goes to show how both teams are actually very proficient. They excel more on barging, you know, just running into sight. They excel at taking down peaks and all that. They're not patient. The playstyle isn't patient. They're not patient, but
They
the
are not.
shots are very good. Serious shots there.
It seems like the star players for this game is of course AT and Envious. AT with 28 kills and Envious with 20 kills.
Just for that is, you gotta hand it to AT and Envious. They're really carrying the teams, you know.
It's really a rough game as well. And as well as this game did last a little bit longer compared to the other rounds that we have casted previously this afternoon, as it lasted 35 minutes.
5 minutes, solid round, as you would expect from two very
Dominant
high
players, yes.
class teams. As
It
for
was
now,
a
we're
great
just-
attempt by Mochi though. It was a great
Yes, it
attempt.
is.
She managed to take down 3 players with her as she managed to clutch the game.
I guess so as well. It was working well, really fine for Renatus at the beginning. It was a strong start. It was 2-0 at the start, but once Boosted got a grip of how things work around Renatus, they just made homework. They made strategies, tactics to take on them one by one at the attacking side of things, and that really worked. And it actually ended up with a 2 to 10, with 10 being boosted. And as soon as the second round started to come into play, it was the exact same thing for Renatus White as well. They did some homework on them, studied a bit, and came back. A solid comeback, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't sufficient for them to overthrow boosted. So it's
Well,
gonna
it
be a
seems
five
like,
minute break, right?
yes, it seems like there will be a 5 minute break for everyone to drink water, um, go to the bathroom and do their business for now. And it seems like a lot of people are cheering on for the teams, but now it's a bit of a mix. It seems to be cheering for Mochi, for Bad Aim and Boosted. It's really a mix right now.
I'd say it is Mochi with that clutch. That was the most memorable. I think that was the most memorable round of the entire game that we just casted.
Yes, it seems like it.
She gave like another fighting chance for Renatus to take, for them to overthrow, to try to overthrow boosted, but it wasn't sufficient. But it was a good try nonetheless. I'd say it was a good try. Props to Mochi there, but big props to Boosted there. They tried to hold their ground, even though at the early side of defending, early stages of defending, they didn't really manage to hold their ground against Renatus. But soon after it, they adapted. They tried to take things. They tried to take the fight to Renatus right away. They didn't want to camp around her anymore. They just knew how they played and just went straight up their faces and pulled out utilities, tried to shred their numbers by sheer force, not by camping and not by anticipation.
It seems like it, honestly. But once again, that was a great play by both teams, but it just seemed like one had to go down.
So there's only one winner. I gotta say that there's only one winner. So let's see who can bag this the second round, though. This is not the end for Renatus. Renatus actually puts up a very good fight, but boosted. We're already speculating the map is going to be Ascent, but thinking back on the early rounds back at noon, we actually saw boosted wrecking the field on Ascent as well. They seem to have a very good touch on Ascent. They have a very clear view on how the map works, and they can take advantage of the terrain.
Seems like we've been seeing a lot of Icebox and Ascent for today, as it seems to be a map favorite.
It's a map favorite. I never would have thought that Icebox would be a popular choice. Maybe it's the map, like the map dynamics, having the map being very, how do I put it in this way? It's very versatile, versatile,
Mhm.
very attacker friendly, and it's not a defender's map to say the least. I wouldn't say it's a defender's map. Would you? Would you say it's a defender's map?
I wouldn't say, as it really takes time actually to rotate as well.
Yeah, it does. And for attacking side of things, the map is wide open, I'd say. So potential peaks are bound to happen. So I kind of feel like it's more of an attacker's side of maps. And to back up my statement back there, I could say both teams were actually excelling at attacking. They're proficient at attacking. So that can make my that can back up my statement a bit on seeing how they're all just good at attacking, I guess. Both teams just are better at attacking. Defending could use a bit more work. They struggle. Both teams just kind of struggle a bit on defending. I feel like the sequence, the procedure for defending, they have it dead, a little bit dead. Not like attacking. Attacking is much more straightforward. There is not much counterplay to be done. It's just trading and all that. There hasn't ever been any counterplay for situations like that, but situations that we've seen just now. But proper trading of your teammates just makes the team win more, I guess.
Seems like it. Yes, I would totally agree with that. So both teams right now are taking a break. Probably either they're drinking water or they're discussing strategy as they finally get to be able to discuss with each other as they're trying to familiarize with the opponent's gameplay.
Yeah, they're trying to study off each other. Both teams are formidable. I'd say they're both formidable. They're equally unique in their own right. And you have Renatus. Their playstyle is much more not rigid, but fluid. It's stable. They anticipate more than they execute. You know, sometimes they make use of the enemy's movements, but looking back at boosted, their movements are just unpredictable, but there's a sequence that you could actually pay attention to. Things will always be the same. It's a rigid strategy, but the way they execute it is just something else. They just find very flexible ways to make things work. You know what I mean?
Yes, I
Like
totally
they
agree.
adapt to situations really quickly, especially 8T and Salam. Salam being very dexterous, very agile as Jet. She knows when to back out, knows when to rush in, knows when to cut up the situation for the teammates. And you have the supporting members, Cater Sis, Alistair Ben, and Bad Aim there. They're all just complementing, trying to support the two-star players because it seems like it. They make up very good support for the team. Their utility is just as important as well.
They play quite well with each other. Yes, they know how to. They already understand each other's place. They already know how to support each other and such.
Yes, it is. 5 minute break, taking things off. Most memorable 13-8 for the first round. Things are very heated. Second round, if I hope Renatus does a good job here. I really hope they keep it there, make it a 1-1, and hopefully we see a third round potentially to settle things, evenly. Because I do not want to see the match end right away. I feel like they have more potential. They have a lot of potential that is not shown yet. Just like earlier this noon, we saw them playing against the Governors, and they were just giving the Governors a hard time. Not really a hard time, but they were very good at disrupting enemy plays, and they're very good at using the enemy's abilities against them.
I'm very quite impressed with how both teams have been playing. Once they get the momentum, they just keep on pushing. And yeah.
You know, it's just gonna be a little break then.
Once again, we're not quite sure how the next round will be playing, how they will play. We will not know which team will win as they're both quite evenly matched, I must say.
Skill wise, yes, they're both. I can say they're very much there. There is skill, and they're not. There is no gap. There's not much of a gap really. The gap, even if there is, it's just tiny. A very measly gap in between, and I think both teams, if they really give it their all, they can actually dominate each other off of momentum.
It really
Renatus.
depends at this point with who's first attackers and who's first defenders. Because it seemed like that was a turning point for the previous game in Icebox.
Also feel like it as well. I feel like the attackers, whoever takes the attacker side of things, is going to excel more in the starting rounds. But defensive side, really talked about this back to back. I talked about this over and over again. There just isn't much plays coming from defensive side of things from both teams. It's much more to attacking side. But in that manner, if we're looking back at the previous round there from previous match when Boosted was up against Mad Z, they were actually pretty good, I'd say, at lurking and stuff like that. There was flankings and stuff. Maybe they just found ways to terrorize their opponent and make them lack confidence completely. But it's a different story with Renatus because Renatus knows tricks, knows some tricks up their sleeve, knows how to do some counterplay.
Seems like both teams are starting to get ready.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's the green light from Boosted already. They're giving it the green light. A thumbs up. We're ready. And Kaverdite and the gang of Renatus X. I feel like they're getting ready as well. Apart from Kohai B, I guess they're gonna shift back to Kohai B from Rue. Just now Rue was filling the shoes of Kohai B a bit, but now she's back. She's with the OG team now. This is the original lineup. We're gonna see more from here. After she back, we are all right. There's a bathroom break in between as well, so let's just sit back and relax and wait for the time to tick before things get started. And it's pretty clear that the map is going to be Ascent, so keep that in mind, folks. It's Ascent. A comfort pick once again.
Once again, one of the gaming community's favorite maps right here. And it seems like it'll be another tight match, I must say.
It is.
Oh, it
There's a
seems
green
like
light
we're
from both
beginning.
teams, and they're just going into Ascent. Like I said again, a comfort pick. You guys already know it, Ascent. It's both teams' favorite. I could say both teams' favorite because they actually did really well on this map on their previous face-offs earlier today. And looking at their agent compositions, I think it's going to be a bit different here, but take it away, Kay. I'm not really entirely sure how things are going to work out from here.
Well, it seems that for Retinus White, they will be picking Kefradite once again with the Sova, Envious with Jet, Majesty maybe with KJ, Mochi with Astra, Kohaibi with the Rays. Now, let's just say that when I saw Kohaibi playing with the Rays earlier, she was an absolute beast. Bad Aim with Sova, Alice with KJ, Salim with Jet, Catharsis with Astra, and AT maybe with Reina. A bit similar play right there. The only difference would probably be Raze and Reina.
Select your agent.
Guess so. So you can't miss out Sova. We have had Sova for every team, every round. It's just that crucial for every team. So I see it's gonna be a pretty tight match. The agent composition is kind of identical. It's just that Raze and Reina difference. But let's see what Kohabi can bring up to the table. She's been gone for one round, but now it's the time for her to step up the game. It wasn't her that previous round. Now it's Kohabi once again. Starting off with the defensive side of things, you have Bad Aim there. Bad Aim with the ghosts and all that. It's just the usual, you know, with the ghosts, light armors and all that. They're trying to take long range plays, I guess. But yeah, boosted on defensive side of things though, and it's gonna work out well. I feel like it's gonna work out well for Renatus because they're gonna be an attacking force for the first round. Right
Seems
off the
like
bat,
it.
you have Bad Aim with the lineup already.
no one really watching mid or defending mid, so it has become an easy push for the other two to be pushing on mid once again like previously.
Letting him advance
Spike
further.
planted.
It's now a 2v2, one smoker and one duelist each. Both teams have been held except actually no, for the
Last player
duelist.
standing. One enemy remaining.
Here, the paint shields are there. It's kind of obstructive, but wow, that last paint shields from Kahaibi really made it like workable for Mochi X.
Mhm.
And with that, the first round goes to Renatus there. A strong start once again. I really don't want to see how the pattern was. I really don't want to see the pattern back where we had from that previous round, which is like a strong start from Renatus, but then they decay over time. So hope this is different for them this time as they're attacking. And with that, the round begins. It's a full buy, much more to a full buy for Renatus as they're trying to move towards A and having a little bit of control over courtyard, and mid cubby slowly started to advance towards A trees, but not going out of smoke, and gets punished by Catharsis right away after that. But Kohaibi makes up for that, takes down.
Once again, just like the previous rounds that we have casted, it seems like taking control of tree is quite important. So we see now they've easily entered the site and already planted.
Yes, it is. I
It's
feel
now
like this, didn't allow him to move further from that spot and have Kford just spray him down.
Revealing area.
Right now they're taking a different approach. Died.
It seems like at this time they've decided to watch tree and not let anyone else take it from them.
Also as well, right off the bat, AT's already taking himself with 1 and 2, a second kill, feeding off of that second kill right away. And Salam, they're picking
Salam
up
with
the
the
pace.
support.
But RTS and
Envious
NVS
last
allowing
player
advance,
standing.
but it isn't enough for AT to counter attack. But there's just one
Calling my
player
bot.
left on Renatus' side. It's Majesty lurking at the worst possible second as of now. No information, no nothing. Just one solo player with the spike, and it looks like it's gonna be
Difficult. It would be
B.
difficult as a KJ player to be able to win this and clutch this, as most of the abilities she has left is not really made for clutching. No
We'll see.
blinds,
We'll
no
see how
push,
it.
no smokes.
We'll see how it goes though, but she might just very well find her face to face with that AT, and it is face to face with
Fortunate ran
AT right
into
away.
AT.
That secures the first
AT.
victory for Boosted.
AT packing already with that 4K in that round.
A pivotal moment. Again, this looks exactly the same as that previous round where Renatus had a very strong start, a 2-point lead, but then just on the third round, just something just clicks, you know, something just clicks with Boosted. They just pack up on the third round and win
Yes.
times.
It seems like for the first 2 rounds, they like to study how their opponents would play.
Yes, it is. There's a bit of aggression here. Not much control on mid-courtyard. And some mid-pizza here. They're just allowing them to advance to the site to slowly pick them one by one, I guess, because they're picking up suspicion here. And there, Gifordite with second kills there. Spot ahead here. He doesn't get the kill on the Ivy. Now it's all up to AT once again. The two duelists, can they fight the world here? Salam.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
High B for that. It's just
Kohabi once again
AT.
a great player.
It's the members of Renatus hunting the top dog, the big wolf.
Fortunate, mostly X. Watch that.
Kinda anticipated. He kinda anticipated AT coming from that angle though, from that footsteps earlier. So it's actually a solid win. Strategy wise, it's very, very plausible.
Right here.
But again, now looking at the economy on Boosted is pretty beat up right now. They can only afford much more afford two smaller guns, hopefully to make the game, the next round, last better.
Seems to be rocking with the pistols.
You should run.
There's the lockdown by Majesty, and they're just advancing towards the side and catching off on Alice Torben. AT just packing in the smoke there.
If they
Hiding
enter
there
that
with the
smoke,
shorty.
they are...
Envious isn't taking any chances, and he already gets caught down. And Envious and Majesty, one by one, mowing down the other members of Boosted. Now it's just a bad aim. Now it's just bad aim and Catharsis. But they're cornered with small guns there.
And round has been won by Renatus White.
Back to back, I'd say. And it's 4-1 now, and in the favor of Renatus White, and their economy is looking pretty good. And right now, only just getting right back on track for the economy on Boosted side of things.
Like I
Salam
said,
decides to go with the op right away, and I hope that's gonna be usable, workable for the team, because most of the time that op actually works wonders for the team. Now they're hiding in mid.
like I said, with both teams, they seems to be way better when it comes to attacking, and not quite the best on defending.
Yes, it is. It does seem that way, but there's a pattern here. There's a strat I think I've seen to worked out a bit. I've seen the seed, discovered a bit how here. Have you noticed that during those first few rounds, mid was empty, but now mid is actually filled with people, right just a few seconds ago, you have Salam, AT, and Bad Aim just cooped up in middle, waiting for them to advance. That was a change of strat, meaning they have adapted.
Spike
AT,
down B.
not willing to let any more points get lost here. Slowly advances to creep up on
player
Majesty
standing.
and gets a one tap on Majesty. It's just Kohabi alone against 4 players of Boosted. How the tables have turned.
AT has lockdown on the spike, not letting anyone else come near that.
Gonna find himself face to face with Alice Torben here, already showing a bit of nade, but doesn't spray enough for Alice Torben to get down, and gets traded for that. And that wall bang on Kohabi. Surviving merely on 3 health. Could have costed a bit actually, but thankfully she survived that. Operator once again. I guess it's the operator for Salam once again. And let's see if she's gonna make a play back on what we've seen, earlier this afternoon against Matt there, just creeping up there, lurking and taking a kill or two.
Added would be lineups here though.
Right into the scope, but the smoke has blocked out of some vision, obstructed some vision there. Very well placed utility. Just getting one by one. RTS just camping here.
AT has been shut down by Envious. Let's see how
Five
it
little
plays
covers.
after duelist.
Bomb already here. Preparing. Manages to get away from
Great
that
trade.
swarm grenade. But there's the cosmic divide. They're getting ready to advance at the site. Mochi X getting back for that spike. Hopefully making it in time before members of Boosted all gather around A.
Spike planted.
You have Alice Torben opening up
Last
that
player standing.
locked down, but
Seems
It's not
like
gonna
Alice
be
is the only one left here.
will find himself with 1 kill and advance back towards 8 trees here, but you have the other members already lurking for her, and she's just gonna have to hold a few angles, but no, sadly,
Fortunate
Kohabi will
that
take
found by
the kill.
Kohai. That was quite an interesting play there, as it seems like both teams really know how to play with mid right there. They're both very aggressive with mid.
It's the pivotal point for the map, I guess, because once mid control is dominated by one team, once there is presence of mid control, that's where the other team will play at a disadvantage. And if we're talking at a disadvantage and advantages, we're talking Renatus. Both duelists have their ults ready. What could go wrong at this point? They can make a full force entry at this point. And members of Boosted, they're actually on saving mode, so they have to play things carefully. But as from what we're seeing right now, Salam is actually playing much reckless right there, but actually managing to outrun. But I don't think he can run away from the clutches of Kohabi. And there it is. Scattered around the map. Pushing some present, making a little bit of commotion. There's Cloudburst, they're slowly rotating towards A, seeing how there's a member of Boosted down already, a top member at that. But AT is just waiting in a corner there. Here's the showstopper. He actually misses him, but AT takes the defense. Alex the defend there, manages to flick out in the last second. Back here.
Spike planted.
That's the regroup. At this point, it's 3v3. It's still workable for Boosted with
There's
AT
still some
here,
time.
with the Lear popping out, giving away the positions of some members. Now he has a clear position of where they are at, but doesn't actually get it on Majesty as Majesty flicks back that shot back into AT's head.
Bad aim here, possibly with the clutch. But with that wall, it will be a quite difficult feat.
The wall is actually cringe, I'd say.
Right now, she can just play for the fail.
Oh, well, that was a very good
It's a
transfer
great
of bullets,
attempt.
but it wasn't workable at the last second.
There wasn't enough.
Things have gotten a little bit different here. It's 2-6, but they're not giving their all yet. I can tell from Boosted they're not giving their all yet. But as for Kohabi's really popping off a bit. As we've seen just now, it wasn't Kohabi playing. It was Rue standing in, filling his shoes for a bit, but now the original lineup is back on track. This is where the true battle begins. It's 2-6. Still early.
What Renatus
Majesty's
needs
already
to
down
do
with
is
the
to
ult.
keep growing the gap. Renatus needs to keep growing the gap while they are still attackers, because we both know that the other team is quite great when it comes to attackers as well.
It's just right away, 4-4. There's a lot of crossfire going on, but Bad Aim just popped out a silver drone and send in some eyes to check for some information. And like B main, they're all around here, you know, they're all around. It's a matter of scouting now.
Quite low on health.
Double peeking. See a chance for double peeking. Enough for Kohabi to get another one. Potentially a third. A second. Once they get a third, and Salam tries to contemplate salt, rushes back, gets a little bit of shots, but gets wall banged and gets punished by Kohabi for pushing too deep. To 7 now. How do you feel, Kay?
Well, it's not unexpected, as we both know that that Renatus White is also such a great team. But once again, we will see what will happen when the team switches, as Team Boosters is also very strong when it comes to attacking.
Yes, they are. Right off the bat. Envy is already cleaning up AT, making them fear her a bit. But you have Catharsis punishing her for pushing as well. It's 4-4. There is a ballsy play at this point. Salam with a Sheriff. They actually managed to punish her with the big shell. If Qatar's
Last
getting punished
player
as well, it's
standing.
just full force entry at this point. Alistair
Very
Penn with
strong
just a
push.
Sheriff here. I think it's gonna work out for Alistair Ben. Might have to go with a sneaky kill or two. This round is actually pretty hard for her to clutch at this point. Time's already ticking away, but most of the members are still not very aware of where her position is. But she might just get caught off guard by Kfredite holding that angle at the window there. Seeing how there's only one shot. One shot right away. Speculating that Majesty's on the left side of things. There's a swarm grenade, forces her to reposition, but doesn't get a kill on Majesty.
Great
But that
play
was
on Majesty
nice
right there.
nickname, nonetheless.
Draw
on
her out.
Kfredite.
Yes, it seems like it. The gap is growing. It is now a 6-point gap on both teams.
Yeah. Kahibi is the pivot point here. Kahibi not present during the last match. Maybe this is where Renatus White
Right here.
takes things extra seriously. Round 11 commences with utilities placed all around mid-courtyard because they actually know courtyard is the place to be, and AC already down with one kill as usual. Potentially getting a second. Aphrodite's just around here. Kahibi not getting that showstopper
Think that,
onto
unfortunately.
Salam. Managing
And
to
gets
tailwind
caught
out of
down.
the situation right at the correct moment. It's 3-3, and you have Mochi X finding how A side is actually very secure. Salam noticing this is all too quiet. They're actually rotating back to A, and I think there's gonna be a meetup point at A at this point.
Without blocking vision.
They're gonna find themselves
Revealing
facing
area.
off one another in A. Just casual
Spike
sprays from
planted.
Alistair Ben
You want
managing
to
to
fight
shred
it?
some health out of Majesty there, but it's not gonna be enough to actually take her down. There's the Cosmic
Last player
Divide.
standing.
Managing to disorientate a bit, and it's a proper use of utility, and that's how they win the round. That's a very strategic way of placing
Last
that Cosmic
round
Divide. It
before
was
the
all
switch.
up on Haven, and with that, they just gave Haven out onto Kfredite to clean things up.
Pretty much. Right now, it is last round before swap, so both teams will be going to full out on bye. And let's just see if Boosted will manage to close the gap here.
See so as well, because right now
Track
I don't
them
think
down.
they're taking things really seriously yet. But right now it's all on Kahibi here. Kahibi is a monster
Shock
at
dart.
this map. Not really a monster, but she's getting there. If she keeps this up, she might be a pain in the ass for Boosted. That's a punishment for Alistair Ben. She actually saw that coming. Trying to make it 1-2-3. But Kahibi managing to pivot the gun at the last moment. Yeah, sadly wrecked by AT again. It's 8-2. 9-2. Possibly a 9-3
Last
maybe.
player
Maybe.
standing.
But
Spike
Kfredite's not
down,
going
B.
down as
Now
soon as
it's
possible. She has the
2v1.
Hunter's Fury at her disposal. She can still make a change, still make a play. Shock
But
darts
he
are
needs
on
to
standby
get
as well.
that fight.
Cosmic Divide, she's making sure it's gonna be safe for them to plant. No, not the plant.
No more.
Sure, it's like, and there it is. 9-3. 3-9. I didn't expect this to
Switching
happen,
sides.
but let's say there is a bit of a gap here, but now it's a boosted side of things of being attacking and defensive
This is
side
where
being
it gets interesting.
Yes, it is. Raze though, Raze is very, very. It's a headache to deal with Raze, you know, in such tight corners, paint shells and boom bots and satchels and all that. They're gonna do some amount of damage, if not kill a player right away. But let's see what they can bring here. 10 seconds on the clock. Utility wise is checked. Everything's in place. gun-wise, Frenzy for
Bomb buddy out.
Renatus side of things. They're trying to take things close, face-to-face with Frenzies. There's the paint shells, one utility down. AT trying to take 1 point towards getting that Empress ultimate.
Seems like they
Slowly
decided
rotating
to
back.
push back as they finally realize that is not going to be an easy feat to be able to push a main.
Taking it slow in mid-courtyard. And back at spawn there. Spiker is actually at spawn. Maybe he'll come face to face with a few players. Like Kferdite and Envious. Maybe catch them off guard a bit. Actually does catch them off guard, but gets traded by
Spike down
Envious
B.
right away, and it's 4-4. And Envious has sight on the spike.
Taking
The point where they have to go back for the spike as time's ticking. That bad aim. Now the gang, they're moving towards there. It actually gets
Last player
two
standing.
members of Envious down, and it's the final member of Renatus left standing, and she's not looking at the pink of health, and that's gets shut down with Salam right away.
Like it. As I said, both teams are very strong attackers and not much of defender.
Yup, they're not much of defenders. They're much more the attacking side of things, much more barging in. They like to barge in, making plays. Not
So there's
much
a
of
very strong chance of Lucid right here to make their comeback, as they already have 2 wins in a row.
Yes, 2 wins in a row. Feel like there's a strong chance for them to come back, I guess. This is still round 3, the half round. Some shots on Mochi X, actually dealing a number on Cadence right there, but not enough. And
Spike down
Salam
B.
just
One
going
enemy
haywire on the members of Renatus there. Them 1 by 1, and there's almost a flawless, just 1 casualty, and they make their way up for a 5th victory. They're making them 5 points against
Money
9.
will no longer be a problem for Boosted right here, as they have not barely lost any gun, and they can still have full shields on this one. So this will be a great play for Boosted, and let's just see how Renatus will counter this, as they have the better guns at least for this round. But if they don't win this one, they will be tight on money.
Will be tight on money indeed. And see how things have changed a bit, having Salam and AT being attackers right now. They're trying to capitalize off everything they can find here. Every single utility, every single chance they get, they're trying to wreck members of Renatus, trying to make them not be able to stand up. But there, with Envious finding herself with the first kill already, Kahaibi contemplating with a second. But there's already a little bit of disorientation here. AT just solo things herself, but gets caught off guard by Kferdite at around switch.
It seems like their push on this round was not that strong, as it's already 2v5.
I mean,
Last
player
already
standing.
pre-aimed here. I feel like it's gonna be a flawless, and it is a flawless from RTS, Renatus X, Renatus White. The first flawless, I'd say. This is the first flawless of the entire game, am I right?
Right
It
here.
seems like it, yes.
Right here.
Seems like it.
Strong place, as it's always been 1 team down.
Have to do it a bit. It's not much of a. It's not much of a.
Heading to the above.
It's not much of a here. But right now, you can also notice that it's not really that big of a gap. There is still a chance to make that comeback, unless RTS manages to keep this lead going and keep on defending.
And how they were trying to make a diversion back there at the previous round, but it just wasn't doable anymore because members of Boosted, they were going down left and right. So down to the last possible second, there was only like 1 or 2 members left. It just wasn't doable. So I guess this time they're trying to reenact what they did last round, but trying to take a more cautious approach because they were well aware that members of Renatus White have pre-aims now. They're trying to pre-aim possible angles that they'll be popping out of, but they will find that bad aim will find himself lucky enough to slip through the grasp of Renatus White.
I noticed with this one, both teams are way more cautious on this. They're not pushing roughly. They're not peeking corners first.
You
And-
have both teams taking one kill off of each other here. But it's more to the favors of 8 right here. Yeah, 8T and K for that is again it's gonna be
30
2.
seconds left.
The duelist is
Kohabi
Kohabi and
8T.
8T.
Let's see which one.
Kohabi actually gets himself
Last
one on
player
8T,
standing.
but gets
Catharsis
traded back by
trades it back.
Catharsis. That's
Ooh.
a decent whiff, but Turban will find himself with 1 kill on Majesty, the doppelganger, and barely surviving with 5 health from Catharsis. That makes him 6-10. It's a solid comeback, but it's gonna take 4 more points to make it on equal footing. Can they actually do it? I feel like they can.
They can. It's
But-
not that big of a gap. It's only 4 points. They just need to not let They just need to not let RTS get that 3 point.
This is a change of arrangement here. You have 8T all soloing around 8 mid courtyard and A.
You are divided.
Making her the possible lurker here. There's the cosmic divide. They're trying to force their way into side, as I can tell. Salam not using that tailwind to make a rush inside, making their presence concealed. And there's a bit of trade-off here. Right away, 4-4. They're coming in. Envious
Spike
rebacking
down
from
B.
that
Great
position
play
right
with
away
that.
after a kill. And you have 8T, the only lurker here. Kind of traded positions from that previous round.
Spike
Just
planted.
got her own location
One
healed here.
enemy remaining.
Envious picking up 1 by 1. Salam finds himself hard to T with a second. Pulls out the blade storm right away. Gets a third, potential third, but doesn't get the third.
Fortunate. Gets shot down by Mochi. Strong place right here. Strong place.
That was a potential play actually. Had the alarm bot not get the whereabouts of 8T, they could have actually launched a counter attack. They could have launched a counter attack right away, but
They could've.
I should play some
Sadly,
Astro Stars in this reality.
the preparations from RTS, Renatus White, they did very well preparations for that. I think they kind of predicted that would happen because they haven't seen 8T all along, and I feel like
Go.
Alex Torban actually
there.
feels mid was a potential pop out point for 8T, so I guess he played his cards. She played his cards right.
Blocking vision.
There's the lockdown already,
Blocking sight.
but none of them are making it advance. Here's Salam with the tailwind going there right away. Actually catches 1, 2, 8T just rushing
Great
into
play
sight.
right there. 3 players detained.
Gets the second. Will not potentially get the third,
Unfortunate,
but
Majesty.
that's enough of a diversion for her team to take it over from here. Hopefully, bad aim.
Last player standing.
Majesty
keep popping
counter
back.
with his own, but it's not enough. Catharsis with the stinger is just run and gun at close range. Disgusting, I'd say. Catharsis with that stinger.
But it played well with that spray and pray.
Yes. You see 7-11. I see 7-11. This is a
I see
pattern
7-11.
I know very well 7-11. It's almost similar to the previous round, but it's a different thing this time. It's different this time. You have Renatus White in the lead this time. But who knows? It's only similar now. It won't be as similar. Maybe not as similar as before.
Unfortunately, Envious was a bit too preoccupied with the Sova drone to be able to pull out her gun.
As soon as the smoke just goes down, they already anticipated Kohabi will be under that smoke there, and they're just stomping at the site, stomping into A, checking the corners. Actually, not getting much of a hit on of Salam.
Last player
Survives there.
standing.
Salam just goes back and clears up the corners here. Doesn't know exactly where Majesty is, but he's trying to get that potential third kill, I guess. There she is. Positions revealed. Everybody's going on the hunt for that loner, that last sheep. All the lions are hunting for her right now.
Just the carefully trying to push on that tiger's den. Still watching and
Flawless.
unfortunately
Wow. Fourth kill for Salam right there.
not a
Notice
flawless,
how they peeked out
but a
right
fourth
away.
kill. It is now 8 and 11.
8 and 11.
And just like chat says, Kilua Bay, the comeback is real. Let's go.
They went from 2 to 8. 2 to 8, which is a 6-point increase. If you compare that with Renatus White, how much was that? It was 9, right? That was an
Cutting their vision.
increase out of 8
Obscuring
rounds there.
vision. Need that back. Okay.
Looks like they're gonna pick things up in mid once again. It's always gonna be mid. They're trying to
It'll
control.
be unfortunate if Kohaibi peaks that. She has 3 guns.
Mid there, but there's already one peak from there. TT and Salam.
Salam and AT, of course,
So well, but
they work
Aphrodite.
together so well.
Bot coming back. Last player standing.
Unfortunate. Great play right there. 9-11.
Things almost on par already. It's 9 to 11, and not much ultimates. Ultimates are actually saved out here. You have both Sovas having their Hunter's Fury on standby. This is looking pretty good for boosted. The boosted, yeah. This is gonna be looking pretty good for them.
I just love watching how Salam and AT are working together. They have such great dynamic. You saw how they watched each other's back when entering mid.
Just that
And
they
easy trade.
peak together as well. This
Yes.
Deploying drone.
trained, I'd say they had a bit of training, had a bit of synergy practice. They play trading very well, I'd say like that.
Nowhere to run!
There's the Hunter's Fury from bad aim right away. Gets not saving that for a post plant, but doesn't actually get much more information from that, so they'll have to work for what they have as of now and slowly creep up into A trees. You have Alice, Torben checking a bit of the corners here. Kahaibi still at the same usual spot here, but AT will spray wallbang a bit and get himself. Kahaibi barely hanging on a thread with 5 health. Members of Renatus White hanging by a thread, especially just Majesty and Kahaibi. Any gun will do it by now, but
Does not look too well for Renatus White as both players are very low, with the other team nearly full health.
checking the corners at the right amount of time to makes it up for them. It's up to the lowest health players here. Positions actually revealed. Kahaibi needs to back away for a bit.
Spike planted.
It's
Last
gonna
player
be hard for
standing.
Kahaibi to actually stand a chance against 4 full health. And the visuals from boosted here. I guess this round
play
actually
this
says
to
much
save.
already. This round's most probably going to go to the hands of boosted, don't you think?
Seems like it.
Very low on health. She can only hold one corner at this moment, but I think she might just probably get one kill right away. Recovers the paint shelter, gets in position, but AT and Kahaibi trade off each other from that encounter. What a standoff. It's a standoff right there.
BYB fam.
10
Going to
11 now.
Astral to do them Astral
Now
Guardian
things are
I
really
do.
getting very, very close now, don't you think? It's 10 11
Like it,
in a
like I
matter of
said.
moments.
Like I said, it was because I knew that boosted right here is very strong when it comes to attacking, so it was gonna be very difficult, and it was very difficult for RTS to keep on defending.
So as well.
Great
Whoa,
play
Mochi
by
actually collapsed.
Mochi right there. Wallbang and a
Start.
collat.
I feel like she's going in for more. She's greedy for more here. Maybe getting a
One
support,
enemy
but
One
winning
more.
that.
Oh, unfortunate.
But Kahaibi will complement that with a trade there. It's only bad aim alone with the spike here, and with 4 members remaining, he's gonna have to make a tough decision here. It's the op from Envious to clean things up. That makes a 12th win for Renatus White.
Match point.
It's a very tight match, I must say.
It is a very
Do
tight
this.
match.
Now they could really push this into overtime, or they could just continue and get that last point to win.
You're right. They could really just wrap things up with that last push. I feel like they shouldn't make any mistakes as of now, because it will cost heavily. Seeing how the marks, the points are so close right now, they need to play carefully around
Blocking
things,
vision.
because boosted, they're not enemies to be taken lightly off. They can come back anytime, I feel like. And right now they're playing smart, they're playing tough. Envious with the up in one corner out in garden, just making sure that corner is locked there. Right now they're just playing anticipation, playing waiting, playing the waiting game. Most of the members of Boosted already making it into sight. Slowly making it to sight, but I see Envious is going to get a potential kill, but he doesn't, and Tails win right out of there. Bad aim, seeing the situation is actually Gravier. Sees that shouldn't be going out in here. The paint shells doing a bit of a damage here.
Hybe getting that kill on bad
right out
aim.
and getting that kill on bad aim. At this point, you have 8T just going back for the spike.
You are divided.
There's the cosmic device splitting the map in half, perfectly in half. Symmetry, folks. Symmetry, my folks. Hopefully they'll be able to get that spike down at B site. But Hybe and Mochi
30
X will
seconds
have
left.
ultimates to complement each other as well. The counter, to make a counter play.
Get out of my way.
That actually will sum up a bit more boosted here. I kind of see this near
Well
the end.
divided.
There's the ult.
Ooh, they're both
He's
already
going
stopping
around
with
the fight.
the Odin. They are
Here,
mad. They will
round.
not give them the win. They came with the Odins.
And with that, second
Defenders
round
win.
we'll go to Renatus White, and I gotta say we're going into the third round. Then both teams will
Seems
have
like
1-1, and with that, they're on a tie right now. At that first round there, it was Rue filling in the shoes for Hybe there, but once Hybe gets into full gear mode, she actually can pull off a few things. I'd say this is the original. This is the original Renatus White. Rue was just a stand-in. Let's just say she was standing in for Hybe for a brief moment, and with that, they actually fare pretty decent. They face off with Boosted, but recapping back on how the plays were, I feel like both teams did fairly well. I kind of predicted this, how the attackers, the attack will have a good advantage on the points, and
I
it
agree.
actually
I
was.
agree.
It actually was like that. So speculating the map would be on split this time. I feel like I haven't
We
seen
have
split.
not seen this map today. No, we have not. So this will be quite an interesting. This will be quite an interesting map to watch them play in.
I totally agree. I haven't seen split all day, so this is actually an eye opener.
Yeah,
And
we have
it
only
was on
seen.
all Icebox. And
Yeah, Ascent, Icebox, and Ascent. Those were the only maps we've seen today.
wow, okay, this is a change. I didn't see Bind or stuff like that as well. I feel like Set really is a comfort pick. And what happened to Icebox being the worst map? Now it's Fracture's place.
Fracture's taken that place.
I guess so as well. I mean, well, before that, let's just give them a bit of time to prepare. And with that, I'll take a little bathroom break. And folks, I'll come back in a few minutes. And yeah, that sums about it.
They ask how are you dating? But please stop asking, I can't take it. So they tell me to stop chasing. You know it's over, time to face it. Oh, I know I should move on, but I just can't. Oh, I think that I might love you till the end. So how can I forget you when you were the one? You used to be my everything, there's nothing when you're gone. How can I forget you when you were the one? You used to be my everything, there's nothing when you're gone. There's nothing when you're gone. Too many great memories, I can't erase them. All I see when I walk past the street where we meet for a drink or two, end up drunk on you. Oh, I know I should move on, but I just can't. I think that I might love
That will
you
determine
till the
who is that team. Get what I'm saying?
It will.
Both teams got to step up their game. This isn't the first or second round anymore. This is the third round, which
It's the
is the
final.
final round. We talked about final rounds being the final matches and stuff, but this is it. This is the last. Winner takes all.
All in.
Yeah, I hope everyone is as hyped as I am, because I'm actually pretty hyped for this.
Definitely.
Willing to see how
I'm
they're
excited
going
to
to
see.
perform.
So it seems like the attackers will be boosted and the defenders will be RTS for this one. Oh, it seems like we're starting.
Seems like we're starting already, and it's gonna be split, a map that we haven't seen all day long. Looking at the agent selections for this map, how do you think about this, Kay?
They're already locking in their players. They seem to be sure, but surprisingly, I have not seen Omen, so I'm quite surprised to see Omen on this map because I've not seen him all day, but seems like we will have a smoker aside from Astra.
As well, sneaky plays. I haven't seen Omen all day, really. All day. Brimstone as well. Is the usable ones who are gonna be Astra and Viper, depending on
Seems
map though.
like it seems like it will be another agent diff on this one as they have chosen the exact same agents once again. Wow.
Oh wow, it's completely parallel, I guess. But you have, who was that? Salam and 8T. There's still gonna be the duelists of their team, and Envious and Kohibi as well, the duelists of the team. This is duelist play here. Seeing how which duelist is gonna play better here. And Kohibi,
Choose your
Raze
agent.
again. She knows how to work her gimmicks here. Majesty, Alistair Ben as a Sage, and Bad Aim and K Aphrodite as Killjoy. Just with that, let's start things up. Defending side with Renatus White being on the defending side and attacking side for boosted. This is I'm already predicting a pattern. What do you think, Kay?
I can't really predict the pattern on this one as once again it's a different map and a bit of a change on agent, so it will be hard to predict for this one.
True that. You got a point. But we haven't seen Split all day long, so really, this is a fresh.
It's a fresh start
scenes
for us.
eyes.
It'll be quite interesting.
Yes, it will be quite interesting here. That members of right off the bat, they're trying to coop up around A. Boosted is just trying to coop up around A, leaving bad aim alone. Lurking purposes, maybe for potential last minute redirections, but as we're seeing right here, they're just gonna force their way into A as soon as possible. I feel like it's gonna overwhelm Aphrodite a bit. Okay, he already finding himself down with the doppelganger. Gonna go down with it. Not aware that Aphrodite is actually on site. They are slowly knowing how things are gonna work out here. There's the blind of paranoia from Narcissus, but it's not enough. It won't be enough.
That was a quick round right there. But it seems Boosted has taken home this round.
First round will go to Boosted, I guess. It's always the attacking side, you know? Attacking side. They just do exceptionally well at attacking. The defending side of things,
Well, both teams have extraordinary entry fraggers, I must say. Their duelists are strong and they have great chemistry when they play together, so I can't say much.
Yes, definitely. Well, with round 2 commencing right away, the second round commencing right away with Catharsis prepping the paranoia to make sure they can advance up to postman there, male there, but they'll find themselves maybe face to face with members of Renatus there, Kahibi and Majesty just cooped up there with their pistols, and Kahibi with a shorty there, already making a step into the night, but not enough. A delay, make a delay for them.
One enemy remaining.
Mochi is just tapping away with that pistol, but he's the solo person for Catharsis. It's not gonna be enough for them.
Right there.
The thrifty win. They made use of the smokes and utilities. They invested more into smokes and util in general, and relied on camping, really. And that actually was
both teams have secured a win, and it seems they have been tied once again.
Yes, tied once again. It's getting really tight. And we're back at the same tactic, I guess. We're gonna leave out 8T down around mid, but she's gonna find herself face to face with 3 people all at once. And the rest of the members of Boosted just around A here. Not willing to see that Aphrodite is just around the corner here. She sounds the alarm and lets the rest of the members of Renatus White aware that they're here. There's
Great play by Salam right there, that one tap.
The Vandals to hopefully come back the last possible second here.
Forcing Majesty to actually fall back slightly here.
Situation's a little bit review here, not willing to turn the corner, but there's the wall was perfectly executed, and by that, Majesty was able to capitalize off that, and that was revenge for one, but that was enough for that spray from Aphrodite, and that secures the second win for Renatus White. It's 2-1 right now. It's very close.
Very close indeed.
It seems like how they defend and attack on this map doesn't really matter, as they both are equal when it comes to this.
So it's not much of a blow to the economy of Boosted, but it's gonna do a bit of a number there, but they'll find themselves just fine with equal footing, equal guns with Renatus White. But the defensive game, I feel like they're going a bit more passive here, not much more into initiating, but not much more into engaging, but more to camping and anticipating now. Have you seen that pattern? Most members of Boosted already in the mid, they're trying to make a forced entry here, showing their presence, seeing how this is not subtle. They're not taking a subtle approach, and they have to shift their attention back to mid, a diversion, I guess. Forcing Envious to back down a bit from there.
Which actually does not work for them. Actually, it does work since it seems like they'll be pushing back in.
Sewers and going back to mid.
Yep, Omen's face to face coming here, and you have Mochi
Spike down
getting
B.
himself a kill and alarming, sounding the alarm for
Here.
teammates to know that the spike is down. They
Now
have a
if
clear
Kohai
grasp
just
of where the
keep
other
that
members of
slightly.
each team is here, but oh, right away,
Satchel out.
they're just camping at that spot.
Here comes the party.
Found himself up with
30
himself a
seconds left.
kill, a good trade. Now it's 2-2. Duelist and accessible for both. It's time for Alistair Ben to get the spike down.
Spike
Hopefully he can
planted.
successfully get this down with AT covering his back here, getting a ref. Most probably wants to ref
Your
someone.
duty is
as
not
well.
over.
And he will get a ref on
One enemy remaining.
an AT, mopping the floor with the last K Aphrodite here. It's 2-1 in 2 angles here. It's not looking very good for K Aphrodite. He has to choose one place, but unfortunately gets scouted out by AT first beforehand.
Here.
Once
Here.
again, they are tied. Wow, this is such a tight game. I expected it to be tight, but not this type. They've been trading wins,
Here.
win, lose on this one, and whew, both
They're
equally
taking
strong
damage
opponents.
equally, like taking blows from each other back to back, but it's not much of a big blow, to be honest, because you'll find them perfectly fine. You can stand back on their feet after a defeat. As you have seen from before, it's 1-1 and 2-1 and 2-2 back to back. The points are never consecutive now. Copying this, it's more the mid control. I found out that these guys, they playing attackers. Playing attackers, they like to have a bit of control on mid. I guess that they are aware that mid is the pivotal point for win. That really dictates how a team can win. And there's the big decision whether it's to go to B or to A, and Kahaibi is gonna signal. It's not gonna be a good choice for them to go B at this time. There's only 2 people left. By himself. Oh no, Majesty just drained them down.
Obliterated them.
Also just charged up her resurrection right away. It's 3-2 now. It's a very tight game, really. It's a very, very tight game.
Renatus, everyone in Renatus seems to have their ult, and that will be
Placing sentry.
quite a game changer right there.
So as well, everyone in Renatus has their ult. Wow, alright. Nothing can go wrong at this point, I guess.
Get out of my way.
Pulling the Blade Storm right off of bat. I think AT's going for much more engagements here. He's not trying to save a bit. I mean, they are on save though, so gotta make some plays. Gotta make some plays to make sure that the team has a good entry into sight. It's just him camping in the corner though. Not much backup here. He has to be able to fend himself off if something actually goes wrong. And Alistair Ben and more members here slowly advancing towards A, seeing how the situation is getting a little bit uneasy. I feel like they're regrouping back into mid. At this point, I don't really know what they're actually doing, but you can find members of Renatus ready for them at any point.
AT was very patient with that wall, I'm not gonna lie. She really waited for that wall to break before she could get a pick. But unfortunately, it did not really work that well.
So as well, this is a very tight game, really. It's a really tight game, but nonetheless, things can still
30
change. They're
seconds
taking
left.
a slow approach, subtle approach. They'll find himself in a scope of FPS.
Blocking sight.
Kills win, and Cloud Spurs right at the nick of time, and gets himself into a better position. There's no way to
Last
trade from
player
that.
standing.
Already, and can't. Mochi X will find himself with 2, not 1, but 2 of members of
Shots.
Boosted right away.
Weapon here.
I mean, they're still clinging to their ults though. They're only pulling out their final utility, which is the ultimate at the worst possible second. for a game changer at least. And
Exactly. It doesn't seem like they need it just yet.
exactly, boosted. I feel like the momentum is decaying, or is it just this map plays better in the hands of Renatus White? It's still too early to say. It's just 4-2. Things can still go either way. Salam already making himself up to ramps. Will find himself face to face with Envious. And actually gets a kill from him and pulls out the boombot right away to secure more ground. Salam, a solo lurker here, will have to find himself again with Aphrodite. There's backup coming from Alice Torban with the heals. I think that's a green light, a good go for them to take site
Satchel out.
on A. That's a real good recovery from Alice Torban. A second to transfer back to Kaibi, but Kaibi will find himself with a collateral
once
damage.
again.
It's gonna be 4-3 again.
Spike planted. You should
Mochi
run.
with the flank though. Slowly but surely will make her way into the side.
Oh no!
One down.
Like a Kaibi trading effectively there. That's an effective play.
One enemy remaining.
Gee, Salam will punish his doppelganger for pushing too far as well. And RTS just creeping up behind, maybe gonna go for
One enemy
goes
remaining.
for a headshot instead. And it's just gonna be AT and Mochi X cleaning
Smart
up things
with the
here.
play. Did not get too cocky with the knife though. Did not get cocky with the knife.
Yes.
Clutch.
You know, you pulling out the knife on an unsuspecting enemy is calling for things to get more serious, you know?
And as well, if she did pull out the knife, there could have been a chance where her time to pull out the gun would have costed her that round.
Yes, there is, because one
she played
misstep
it
from that,
safe.
my knife would just cost her the entire round. That's for sure. That's a good point, Kay. And this isn't faring very well for boosted anymore.
Keep
and
doing what you do
I feel like
best.
they're gonna have to change up their strats here. You're gonna leave more on B here. GX with that bomb. Smoke. Just not making any subtle movements. They're trying to make their presence known. The Javi are
freaking
kill
out.
on them.
T with a boom bot. Wow.
Showstopper is news enough that they should back away, but it's not going to be enough for them to take over the site
Spike planted.
entirely. As you can see, Majesty and K Aphrodite just up on heaven, but oh,
Last
Salam
player standing.
taking things seriously here, but bad aim as well. You'll find themselves with kills here, and it's just up to Majesty to hopefully clutch. But at this point, she doesn't have an ult anyway, so it's gonna be a 1-4.
It would be
And
safer to play for picks and save.
yes, I can't possibly see this as a round for Renatus White anymore, because it really is gonna be a round for Renatus White, to say the least. That clears the third round, but oh, Majesty gets himself another kill. From that, gets punished by bad aim. A trade. It wasn't worth it, to say the least, but it was a trade.
It was a trade as well, as she got 2 kills that will take down at least a little bit of their economy.
Yep, you're right on that. You have them rocking on light armors now. They don't have much money to work with, not much creds to work with now. They gotta play safe a bit, safer a bit. Not safe, but safer. But Renatus White, they do have a few good situational ultimates to say. So really depends on gunplay at this point. But AT will find herself with 1 kill right off the bat. They're trying to take over the site of A by force, and he will find himself with another, but gets punished by Sad Kahibi and get traded back from
Spike
Salam
planted.
right off the gate.
Last player standing.
And Salam not showing any mercy to them.
Salam
Out
taking
12 health. Mochi X.
Unfortunately, Mochi takes down Salam.
Then he aimed there. A second for Mochi X. A potential third, but it doesn't happen. And bad aim scoops up the round for boosted, making it a 4-5. back-to-back blows. It's still too early to say who's gonna be the winner, but it's a very tight match. You
Caution
know,
here.
500.
Caution here.
500 cash prize. That's a lot, and I can tell both teams are giving it their all in this one match. And looking at right now, we're seeing the economy of Renatus White. Did a severe blow on them. They're sticking with Spectres, Stingers, and I see a Sheriff as well. But if they play smartly, they can actually capitalize on that. But right away, you have Kobe making way into sight, capitalizing off their enemy's disadvantage, and they're already setting up utility for them to entry and to take advantage of it.
One enemy
One for
remaining.
Salam, and then another for T, and they make it almost a flawless, but
Once again, it is a tie.
tie. Now it's a stale though. It's almost at the half round though. What do you think about this so far, Kay? I feel like this is where things really get very, very serious. It's different from the matches we saw prior.
Really different. Not only the map is different, not only the agents is different, but it seems like the energy that both teams are bringing right now is quite different because it does not seem like any of them wants to give up that throne of winning. Both teams want the championship, both teams want the prize money. So it's gonna be a very tight game. Each member giving their all.
Fire in the hole!
Here's the showstopper. Showstopper is a good indicator for them to back off a bit, and he'll find a kill on Majesty. That's one healer down, and good news to them. They have their own healer, but Mochi X will find himself on Salem there. It's gonna be 4-3.
One enemy
2
remaining.
and 3-1 right away in mere seconds, man. In mere seconds. This round will go into the hands of Renatus White. It's making it a 6-5. They're taking things slow here. Just messing around, see them messing around here.
Like they're trying to bring back the good mood here, the good energy.
Yep.
Last round in the half.
I mean, the plan was actually the plan was commendable. From Boosted, they made their way up into Haven and slowly crept into boxes. Not slowly, but much more loudly went into boxes, like B site in general. But it wasn't. They didn't check the entirety of site properly, and that really costed them the round because the execution was perfect. Just holding it down was the problem, you know.
Get out of my way!
Seeing how they have a lot of ults here. Bad aim. Oh no, RTS, NVS getting one kill down and leaving one severely injured.
Healing.
Play things quietly here. And good news for Renatus White, they have an ult, a resurrection, so they can really play ballsy a bit. Envious just with the scope, the usual point there, just checking in. That's a sound for them to back off, but they're not willing to back off yet. Members of Boosted, they're just wanting to advance. They desperately want to advance. No, kill behind the Envious at the same time. There's the showstopper, and that will secure the 7th round for Renatus White.
Switching sides.
Switching sides. Now let's see if both teams are as good as they were when defending and attacking.
That was a solid first half. Kudos to Renatus White there. They actually played their cards really perfectly. The plan was very simple. I feel like I observed from them. I could tell the plan was just hold. Yes, just hold. Things get shaky, you rotate. That's all. It was just simple.
Holding their angles. Yes, they are.
Boosted. With Boosted, their plans were workable. Their strategy was executed perfectly, but the only problem with the execution was the sustain. They weren't able to sustain their ground long enough for the spike to go into like drastic time.
Well, of course it was gonna be harder for them to push as both teams do not have any flashers. So it was gonna be, of course, difficult. And Omen's flashes aren't really that great.
Trying to play right away, getting a dash, but he won't find himself a second kill. And it's 3-3 right away in 1 minute time.
Both raises are low, so it's gonna be quite
player
difficult for
standing.
this.
Just like it's so, it's all Salam now. It's all Salam now. Here's the spike. It's a good indicator that they're
Spike
here,
planted.
but sadly it's walled off, so he has to take the one only route he can find, which
I'd
is
be
Haven here.
already watching 3 guns already pointing at them.
Your tactics
And
failed.
then there is from Majesty securing the 8 to 5. Now they're leading by 3 points, and it's looking very bad for Boosted here. Potential's not. I mean, the momentum's not here yet. I feel like they're shaking a bit. Their boots. Salam and Ivy has raised, huh?
It seems like both teams are starting to get worked up here.
Getting
There.
a bit worked up. Yeah, Mochi X and gang members of Renatus White going full on with full buys. I see Bulldog, I see multiple Spectres with light armor, but mostly of heavy armor. They're not trying to take it slow, they're trying to push things in as fast as possible. And with that guy, he's already took it down there. Ganger. Vision structure, you can't really see much, but he actually gets a kill on another
Player
to Ivy. But he will find himself in a stitch here, as Alistair is the only person left standing, and he has to face off against Street, but not going in with a kill.
And
One kill gets traded
it's like
right away.
it is a win by RTS.
Yes, it is a win by RTS.
Now leading with 4 points. Not a big gap, but also not a very small gap.
It's not a very small gap, but it's still comebackable, if that's a word. It's still comebackable, but I really want to see how Boosted is gonna make things work this time. They know that sheer force, just going in by sheer force isn't going to cut it this time. They have to play smart. Oh, and a bolder approach by Boosted this time. They're just gonna go again, recklessly.
They're starting to push on this one. Play more closely,
Yes.
and it seems to be
Right
working.
here. Third, it seems
One
to be
enemy
working
remaining.
very well here. It seems like
Well, they are
they're trying to
better on
figure out-
attacking.
Yes, they have to bring the fight back. They have to bring the fight towards Renatus themselves. And it's actually peaceful, and it's now 9-6. Should have been like that from the get-go. I feel like they've been thinking like this for now. Should have been like this from the get-go. But guess the plan's gonna stick from there. You can see AT holding a judge. I don't know if she's gonna cling to that until the round starts, but hopefully that's her go-to plan as of now. If you can't get the enemies down by gunplay, then you'll just have to get them down by one shot, you know, by the judge. Strife around as usual. Got find himself Salam. Salam trying to capitalize off the obstructed vision here. They're just getting ready for a bit, getting to rendezvous a bit, but you have both sides a little bit
You will not kill
preoccupied,
my ally.
secured, you know, bad aim. Gang.
Seems like the game is now back to a 5v5 after that revive.
Find a Killjoy's having face-to-face occasionally, not occasionally, eventually. Bad aim, just camping out in sewers here. He's not really aware that there's an alarm bot down in sewers. Catharsis will respond with a paranoia to obstruct vision. It will spam a bit around the smoke, but actually doesn't get any at all. Unlucky there. Alistair Bad tries to trade for that, but
It was a good
Mr.
attempt.
Three now. Well,
Enemy
for
remaining.
Mochi X here.
Great play by Mochi right there.
Very nice transfer here from here. It's gonna be AT with the pistol here, but he has the judge, so he's gonna be playing very roughly here. But with own smoke, obstructing his own vision. He can't really see well,
wasn't
and
much.
that makes the play not workable.
There wasn't much that he could do right there. It was either with a pistol or with a judge. Both would have not worked on that situation, as unless he was defending, that maybe could have worked, but not in this situation.
I mean, it could have worked had he not the smoke, the placement of the cloudburst was a little bit too near. It's too near,
Yeah.
but if that was a few feet further away, I feel like the judge could really come and play at that moment. But coming back here, there's the wall strategically placed again, letting them just mow down the wall right away, showing their presence. Yes. Yep. Oh, bad timing right over there. He actually found himself killed again. Right over there. Just trade blow by blow.
Anyways.
And Mail. It's the green light for them to rotate back to A, it seems, but I can feel that Bad Aim actually has a knack, an eye for things. He's actually aware that there might be some sort of commotion going on in A right now, but not really aware. It's gone really too quiet, and that actually gives the green light for members of Renatus White to advance in the site nonchalantly. You know, we can get the spike freely down. That's where things get a little bit complicated here. Find himself with another kill by Kahabi.
One enemy remaining.
Second by the
Another
leg.
kill. And Herphodite with the last one.
And that's 11-6.
Just two more wins, and they will take home the championship.
2 more wins and they will take home the championships. And Boosted, they really need to up their game here. What happened to all that bravado from those previous rounds?
Seems like this is just not their map. This is not their map.
They get drained.
Could have been the drain as well. Both teams have been playing the entire day.
Yeah, well, you're right about that. Oh, there was tap, but that wasn't enough. The damage, the numbers weren't enough for them to actually make the kill. And Mochi X is actually making a lot of good plays here. You can tell, and that's a flawless from Renatus White again. That was wickedly quick, which was 1 minute and 20 seconds. I feel like that was quick, and that now it's already match point, and this is where things are getting very grave. The situation is very grave for Boosted now, and if Boosted doesn't up their game right at this point, I feel like a comeback is doable. They can do a comeback. I've seen.
But it would be very difficult. It's quite far already. They're far off.
Yes, I've seen Boosted go from very high, but I've never seen them at this point. You know, it's just not what I expected, but right off the go, AT will find himself on the ground by Mochi X right away.
Already down.
Salam from Binjai with his
Like
own.
Salam won't give them that last one quite yet. Unfortunate, it is now a 3v3. Both teams on full health.
But a pivotal point from here is that Alistair Ben will have his resurrection ready, but seeing that is not a very good spot for her to resurrect, as she does not have the wall up on point. And you'll have Aphrodite readying that lockdown to make sure that last spike
Player
safe.
standing.
And Bad Aim
Spike down A.
gang will isolate the final member of Renatus White and K Aphrodite. Solo here.
That was a great bait right there. The intention, Catharsis intentionally got stuck in the lockdown so that they would try to push Catharsis, but of course the two duelists were already there to watch Catharsis back.
12-7. It's 12-7 this time.
It
Looking
is
at the
doable.
outside of things, Kahibi has the Showstopper and Envious has the Bladestorm ready. Bad Aim does have a lockdown though, so it can still work either ways. They just gotta work around the gunplay. It's all according to utility now, you know. You gotta have to work smart with the utility. You mess up. If you mess up halfway here, you'll mess up. Yeah. Kohabi will find himself with this utility. Tarsis down. They're down with smokes. It's not gonna be not much utility for boosted anymore. I'll see how that lockdown is gonna fare. How long it's gonna be able to hold them down. But AT and Salam, they're just trying to make sure they don't get that win easily. FTX, Mochi doing fairly well in this round as well. Find himself off guard.
Now it's 3v3, both matching agents.
Oh wow, what a nice paranoia. Nice pick.
Last player standing.
Oh, Mochi X again?
Oh, this
This
will
is
be
already
the
looking
one
very
last
bad.
win. It's all up to bad aim.
After
Bad
Trev
aim's
plays
heart
bad aim,
must be
good aim
pounding
here.
right now. That fake TP really played it as well.
This is a tight moment for Boosted. All eyes are on bad aim now. They want to potentially make the
Fortunately,
another effort for another win, but that doesn't count. And with
Markers
that,
win.
coming with the 4K, and congratulations to Renatus White.
well, folks, I guess you saw the results now, and I'd like to congratulate both teams. Like really, they really did take a lot of effort. It took a lot of effort for them to actually stand here. Like, it's grueling. I'd say it was 2 days back to back elimination right until finals. Right now it's the finals, and both teams gave their best. I'd say
And
they
before
did
that,
give their best.
even, I'm pretty sure they did a lot of training, a lot of practicing, and God.
Yes, and with that, we can hereby announce the winner of the Battle for Supremacy all-woman series, organized by Urban Madness E and co-organized by Living Minds. The winners are Renatus White. Once again, congratulations, and let's recap back. And a nice effort. I like to congratulate Boosted as well. They made it this far. Their plays were incredible as well. Both teams gave it their all, but at the end, it was slightly leaning more to Renatus White side of things. And hey, before we actually close off the entire event, we actually have, like I said prior, an interview. And
Yes.
who are we gonna interview? Let's just say they're the star players of their team. How about that? Is that enough to cheer chat
That's
up?
enough to. Yes, that is enough indeed.
That is enough to cheer chat up, huh? All right. So, starting with Renatus, we'll be interviewing Kohibi. Can we have Kohibi later down the interview overlay there? We'll talk about that sooner, but currently we're talking about Kohibi here. And Boosted side of things. Boosted. Let's not forget about Boosted. They actually
Of course.
did pretty well as well. I'm sure chat wants to know more about 8T as well, right?
Seems like it. A lot of them were having questions. A lot of them were asking about who this player was, as she absolutely destroyed in Icebox.
Yeah, yeah. That was the memorable plays of this event so far, I guess. Good news to 8T, and good news to chat as well. We're gonna be interviewing them. These two, can we have Kohibi and 8T, these two members? Pretty sure our higher ups gonna send a message there. So in the meantime, stay tuned for a bit. We're gonna come back in around 5 minutes, I guess. So thank you guys for tuning in, and don't turn off just yet. Interviews are gonna commence right away in a few minutes. So as of now, it's just a little break interval, so I'll be taking a leave and meet up with the higher ups.
I don't care no more. 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 I don't care even after all the places we've been. Now you're just a silhouette to the sun. Maybe you thought that I'm the fool for taking longer than expected, and it ain't cool for you. You had to do what you got to, and I'm not here trying to miss you at all. I don't care no more. 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 I don't care no more.
I swear I used to care about you. Now our love fell apart, that's true. Needed you to be the one. Now I guess you're just my two. I won't lie, can't deny. Every night still think about you. The way your touch feels got me blushing. So can we take it slow for a minute? Let me show you my world for a second. I got a lot on my hands to be giving. I might lose my mind, but right now I feel like
I don't care no more. 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 Yeah, I don't care no more.
Oh, what?
Her.
Try to be honest, I'm not good at letting down my guard, but I really want it. Before you, I was.
Wait, another me. Oh no.
That was a very close game, honestly.
Yeah, that was a very close game. I like to say that was very nice gunplay. Really, really nice. It's like nothing I've ever seen up until date, you know, in the local scene. Malaysia and Singapore based.
Okay, so here we are with Majesty and one of the great players of the game.
Yeah, we're here with Majesty right now. She's as you know, she's from Renatus White, and let's talk about what chat has to add, like has to question. Right now, I'm pretty sure they're very eager to ask questions, especially the Sims, you know. Yeah.
Yes, we heard
Yeah.
there were a lot of people cheering for there were a lot of people cheering for your team, and they were some of them were saying they were Sims, some of them were just trying to cheer you guys on. It was amazing, and yeah, I don't blame them.
I don't blame them. I really feel like both teams really did their best. Do we actually have a representative for Boosted, or is it just Renatus White? I'm guessing that's a no then, so let's just keep up from there. Do you have questions ready there in the chat box, Kay?
Well, the chat box, since the stream is quite delayed, there is no questions quite
There's
yet.
no questions quite yet. All right, so we'll come up with questions of our own. So, yeah, let's talk. You got any questions first, Kay? Because I'm still boggled a bit.
Well, let's just say, with which map did you guys feel like you struggled more with? Was it with Icebox or was it with Ascent?
I guess it's Icebox. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, Icebox wasn't used. I guess like used to be good, but still struggling. Yeah.
Oh, I think I can carry on from there. What did it feel like actually? Because for a brief moment there, it was Rue, R-U-U, Rue. It was her stepping in for Kohabi for a bit. Um, was it like not actually part of plan, or did you guys actually plan beforehand for these things, like these subtle inconveniences that happen or stuff? Was it an inconvenience, or was that all planned out?
It was really sudden, like yeah, cause like the tournament started quite late, right? So everyone had to go out to eat dinner, so that's why we had Rue to actually take over. But it's all good, cause like the dynamic was okay.
Yeah.
I could tell Rue actually stood her ground a bit. Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys
But
played well with Rue, yes.
yes, exactly. And with Kohabi back, that's where things went a little bit different because she's kind of like the driving force. I'll say this right off the bat. She's kind of like the driving force of the team. She's very good at using the terrain, really, as Rays, as Rays.
I love the
Really,
way she played Raze, honestly, on the maps.
yeah, that's one thing. And you were playing much of more of a supporter role in those rounds. How did you feel of complementing like your teammates? How was the synergy there? How did you feel when you were in the matches, you know? Did you feel like you were just a background role, like not as in you're not doing anything, but more as in you are supporting the main driving force of the team? How did you
Yeah.
feel?
You did have the most assists. You were rocking with the 12 assists on the last game. That was quite a lot.
Yes,
I didn't even
exactly.
realize.
You had a
Oh,
lot.
Yeah, they realized, okay,
I mean,
alright, that's
if
fine.
I can be the bot, I wish I could be the bot. Of course, with Kwaibi, we will always support her, Kohaibi and Envious, and everyone else. Support should play like a support, so we'll always support them. But with
Alright,
Kohaibi, like she's like the booster jab lah, like COVID, and then she's the booster jab. Yeah, so she secure everything,
Yes.
alright. Okay, that's actually it's actually pretty interesting though, because when I saw you guys played, it wasn't really organized, but it was there. There was a structure, but it wasn't really organized. The execution was spontaneous. I'd say spontaneous. Was that also planned out, or was it like you guys just have a good basis of trust and you just know how to support your members just like on the go like that?
Yeah, we just like how do I say? We will adapt according to like who we see on the map
Mm.
to actually figure out what they're actually doing. I think likewise
Yeah,
they should be doing the same for us as well.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's a very good answer. My observation is all right. What about Kay? Any more questions, Kay?
I don't really have questions right now because I'm still stunned with their gameplay and how amazing they played. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, the gameplay was awesome. It was really, really interesting, I'd say, because that was, from the looks of it, from audience perspective, I can tell that was actually a match, a high caliber match. Really, that was very standard, lah. It had an amount of standard there, and I actually have another question. Oh, I think this will be my last question, really. How did it feel facing off with Boosted, actually? Because Boosted, you're aware that these girls, yeah, this is all woman series. These girls, they're actually formidable opponents as well. How did you feel facing them off? Did you think they were hard to play against, or did you guys actually had a strat to deal with them? And you did some homework on them as well.
We do not we don't really know like most of them, but we know some of them. But yeah, they are good themselves. So we need to be better as well. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. Like
All
there
right.
wasn't much studying involved lah. More like be more confident like them.
Oh,
Ah,
just
yes. The confidence boost. It will always work.
so it's kind of like you counter them with your own confidence, kind of thing, like like that. Is it?
Will it work?
Yeah. I guess it did work. At the earlier stages, it was rigid. The matches were kind of rigid, but at the end stages, you can kind of see who has a way more better swing. You know, the swing to it, much more swing.
Both
A team with
teams
better
were
swing.
very, once again, I will repeat, both teams were very strong when it came to attacking.
Yeah, that's one thing. You guys were actually pretty good. You know, I actually mentioned that was my last question, but let's make this K's question. K's question, all right. You guys were both teams. I'd like to give a shout out to Boosted as well. You guys were just crazy with attacking, but on the defensive side, it was a bit lackluster. Could you explain more on that?
In terms of defending,
Yeah, in terms of defending, because your attacking, the elements of attacking kind of overshadowed your elements of defending. You know what I mean?
um, I guess like we are we were trying to like as what I say adapt to the map. So maybe quite a number of rotation. More like we couldn't read them, but I guess everything works out in the end.
It did. It did work out.
It worked out in the end. And I guess, yeah, I guess with that, we can end the interview now because I think we have what the chat wants to know, actually. I think, except they want to know who 8T is, except for that. Yeah. I'd like to thank Majesty. Did I pronounce that right throughout the game? Majesty.
Correct. You're right.
Correct. Yeah, Majesty. All right. Congratulations to you guys. You did a wonderful job.
Congratulations. You guys deserve the
Congratulations.
rest and
Yes.
take a chill.
Well done to you guys and have a good break. And we hereby announce you the winners of the Battle for Supremacy All Women Series victors. So I guess that wraps it up for today. And lastly, once again, congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
With that, we can end the session here. And yeah, let's wrap this up. Shu, take it over for us, Shu. All right, thank you.
Ringkaskan nasi jatuh ingin kemenangan for that for back maximum paper I gotta be good the imposters around me forever a faker bitch not a factor sayonara see you later goodbye cari jalan macam takkan dapat living my life no harapan kawan jauh tapi musuh dekat lari-lari kalau baik kau confirm lekat gotta save pace mungkin lagi laju but I shit korang semua tak nak pandang it's okay I'm flying my own ways buat kasih lara homie bukan takkan lara tell me who's next mungkin aku siapa tahu budak baru tumpah lalu budak baru tumpah lalu shit mungkin aku siapa tahu mungkin aku siapa tahu mungkin aku siapa tahu kerja keras impian ke atas kalau gua malas gua ingat misi aku dominasi 2021 agar